Hello there, Twitch chat. Welcome back. I'm sure you enjoyed the games yesterday. We had a couple of spicy ones on the main stream often. I don't know how your games on the second stream were, but we had a couple of absolute juices. How did
We
your
had
side of the bracket go?
we had some bangers, that's for sure. I mean, little mistakes here and there, but that's what makes the game exciting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, cool. We had actually a couple of pretty good upsets on our side of the bracket. So we had 1M and Intense, the completely new, at least to Division 1. They may have played other divisions in the past, but these guys took Division 1 by storm this month. They beat Sagittarius and Johnny C in the first round, and then they knocked out Drakir and Isolde in the in the upper match, which was pretty impressive to see, to say the least. So that was very cool. They earned their spot in the semi final, not just making it through the first day, but actually coming out in first place from that side of the bracket, which is really cool. So be interesting to see how well those guys are going to fare today. Their semi-final is going to be up against Shadowwings and Eidetic, but we will not be watching that one because we saw them on the stream quite a lot yesterday. So instead, we are going to be treating ourselves to a bit of a grudge match, which is Sagittarius and Johnny C facing off against Fine and Pavided. So bit of a juicer, definitely the highest elo game of the two semi-finals, but as 1M and Intense showed us yesterday, elo is definitely not everything when it comes to a game of Legion. So, I mean, this game is pretty interesting, right? Because Sagittarius and Fine, they are playing together in the Nemesis Cup. They duo on the ladder and all the rest of it. So, pretty cool to see those guys having to face off against each other. And of course, Fine and Pavida, they are last month's champions. So they should be, they're certainly a team to watch. But I think Sagittarius and Johnny, for sure, can give them a run for their money.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's the high elo match. It's definitely for very strong ladder players,
Mm-hmm.
at least, and Fine and Poeted are definitely strong tourney players.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting, and especially the part where you mentioned where Fine and Sagittarius are playing the Nemesis League together. I think they definitely have some some idea of how each other play. So it'll be more interesting to see how they match up,
Mm-hmm.
because I think their styles are very different. Fine is, I mean, he turns it a little bit more serious in tournament than on ladder, but he does like to play super aggressively and super income heavy, and Sagittarius is more of a overbuild, starve, try and take his guy out, keep himself in the game, and then just kind of value it up in the mid game. So it'll be an interesting style because he does have Johnny C on his team, who is also a kind of a for fun pusher.
Yeah.
So it's a nice pairing for sure.
I think the
Yeah.
two teams are very similar in that respect, actually, because I think Pavided actually has a very similar playstyle to Sagittarius. They both are cartel mains on the ladder. I know they mix it up from time to time, but they're both cartel mains for sure. They both like to stay on or around value and then go for the more kind of mid game aggression rather than the early game aggression. And then, like you say, Fine and Johnny C are kind of the opposite of that. They will go for heavy pushes in the early game. They'll go for big sends. They'll go for spicy plays. And kind of interesting to see that both teams have that kind of dynamic going on. Maybe one player plays it a little bit more safe, covers their teammate. Their teammate goes for these big aggressive plays early on, and then we'll see who's able to make it out of the early game in the best economic state and likely then carry the victory in the mid to late game. But
Yeah.
something that we had a lot on the mainstream yesterday actually was big wave 10 meta, right? So I don't know if you had the same in your games, but on our side of the bracket at least, we had a lot of big sends on wave 10. We had a lot of king damage being dealt. There was a couple of games that damn near ended on 10, although not quite, but we had, like 300 Mythium sends on 10, players leaking huge, kings shedding their HP all over the place. I wonder if we'll see that again today.
Yeah, I think Wave 10 is definitely, I don't know if it's, I don't think anything specifically changed about it, but definitely people are more aware of the fact that Wave 10 is basically impossible to hold
Hmm.
without, you need to have one good value and then two good units, and even then you can still leak.
Yeah.
So basically, I think people are more willing to try stuff. I think that's the important thing, is that like before, like you definitely have people who just like, they see Big Gun or they see just something that looks like a free 10 hold, like a doppel even, and then people start realizing there are like ways to counter the sends, counter the units with sends, and big enough sends for that matter. So hopefully we'll see people adapt to that, because I think you can just play around things like that. Like especially in tourney, you should be way more willing to make reads about the people you play against.
Yeah.
So like if you get a Sun on 9, like you could be pretty certain about some things happening on the next wave. Like if they're over pushed, or like you look at your board, you're like, well, like maybe I should just like not grief on 10, and just play it a little safer. So hopefully we see people at least try and play intelligently about their opponent's intentions, and then hopefully we don't see any wave 10 disasters. But I'm pretty sure it's unavoidable.
Yeah, some spicy stuff will be happening for sure, and this is, of course, the first Nova Cup since the big bounty change, with power mercs now being worth more and income mercs being worth less, and players have really started to adapt to that. There's way more kind of, I mean, Nova Cup has always been kind of starve heavy, certainly compared to ladder, right? But it feels like even more so now. There's a lot of aggression in the early game. There's a lot of power mercs being sent. There's a lot of big leaks happening, and probably average king HP by wave 10 has been like 50% at best, you know. Like there's a lot of action happening in the early game, and I think the games are faster and over sooner than they have been, certainly in all the previous Nova Cups this year. So that kind of mixes things up. It's interesting to see, and yeah, we'll have to see if the players decide to make that sort of game happen now as well. And we should have a lobby open, Offma. We do.
There's one missing element in this lobby.
Okay. Who could that possibly be?
Yeah, we definitely have not seen, at least I didn't see too many late game games. I mean, there was one 21 game, but that was because of a insanely disgusting roll from Shadow, where you just couldn't leak it the whole game.
Like it was some
like, yeah, they did. It was like a Pilgrim buffing a OT fully hatched egg.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty tricky.
Nice. Okay, guys, enough padding. The time for action is here. We have Ram Pam Pam on the left. They are playing up against Singularity on the right. Let me sort out my scoreboard. Actually, that's something I maybe should have remembered to do before I started.
Yeah, I mean, game one, I would expect YOLO from Fine, Cartel from Sagittarius, probably double lock-in from Poeted. He was playing that in the first game a lot, but we'll see if he wants to go with his Cartel or not.
1 second, caller. Okay, scoreboard is done. That will update when the next wave begins, and let's have a quick look at the rolls. So we have
Lock-in gun.
Casket Angler for Fine. We've got the double lock-in for Pavided, and this is something that I think has been expected of Pavided. I actually need to change my scene. Yeah. That would be a good one. So Pavided with a double lock-in there. He has gone for the Angler and the Mask, and this is something he's been playing with quite a lot lately. So we're going to have to see now in this Nova Cup, is he going to make it work the way that he does on ladder? That's pretty spicy, Offma.
Yeah, and then on the other side, Sagittarius just decided that gun is broken and he's going to lock it in, which is a fair point. I think this gun unit's a bit overtuned, and obviously he feels comfortable with it, so see what he can do.
So this started off as a Widdowson tech. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah, it is the Widdowson opener.
It's the Widdowson opener, the False Maiden, the double angler, and he used it quite a lot on the ladder. Back in the day when Widdowson was playing and streaming, this was pretty cool to watch him play this one, and now Pavided has decided to take up the mantle. We do have a snail send here on 1 into Professor Chaos, but he is not playing Fiesta this time, he is playing Chaos. So that's just plus 4 gold for free.
Pretty reasonable to pick Chaos when there's Hero. Always like nice to have aura spells when you play Chaos. Fine has an insane YOLO roll, by the way, like with no reroll.
Oh, that's a juicer, actually. Yeah, that YOLO roll looks like a perfectly hand-picked roll, actually. But no, this is a YOLO, okay?
Yeah, he should be pretty comfortable. And they have the double anglers on the left. Like, that's pretty nice to have. Obviously, like, if you both have it, there's a chance for something to go wrong if your rolls aren't good.
I mean, if I'm looking at all 4 of these boards currently, Offma, everybody at the moment looks garbage on 6. Now, we
Yeah, I
can
was
see that
gonna
they
say.
have some options. You know, there's a Berserker there for Fine, or a Halo as well. And there's, you know, Seraphine for Pavide. But Wave 6, I could certainly see
Yeah.
some action happening there.
I mean, Sagittarius has the choice of pierce damage, or pierce damage.
Yes. He has
And
re-rolled now though, so he's
Yeah.
picked a couple more units, but his roll is very not great in the late game, let's say.
yeah, I would just go with garbage.
Yeah.
There's really not much you can do after like 12. I mean, gun is good, but you know you can't solo carry against certain waves. So
No.
we'll see if they can maybe try and go for something quicker, or he can just rely on the chaos to carry him in the late game.
Alright, so we have Incom Sends coming out from Fine and Pavide, while Sagittarius and Chaos, they're saving their Mithium a little bit here.
Yeah, they went for King Ups on 2, which is reasonable. I think the thing about this is that it's super obvious he's double lock-in, so you can kind of tailor your playstyle around it, because he's probably going to stay low workers because he has no income, and he has to deal with his anglers, and if you're Professor Chaos, you can kind of take advantage of that. Like, he's going 7 workers with 2 planes, which is like, you know, usually like pretty risky, but there's literally no way he can get a send here.
Yeah, he's definitely playing around his outs there, because this build is pretty garbage actually on Wave 4.
Yeah, and Fine. Okay, I was gonna say, like, I don't think he should be that scared that he needs to go casket upgrade here, and he doesn't, which is smart of him.
You went for the Bounty Hunter, right?
Yeah, neither is very good on 6, to be fair, but it's just nicer to have your bounty when your anglers
Yeah,
close to full.
if you want to start farming those seconds, right? So, actually he's still not even on 60 mana now, so he didn't really need to upgrade it here, but it's fine.
Yeah,
You need to do it at some point.
You can see that this build is not very good on this wave, but yeah, you literally can't get a send. Like, 40 was the max, I think.
A snail might have done it, right?
I mean, fair enough. And, ooh, this guy's showing up already.
Okay, so we did say there's going to be a lot of power mercs sent early, and here there is one on Wave 5. Now, will
Let's have a look at how broken Gun
go
is.
for a shift or not? He's going to drop a Treant. Obviously, the 20% bonus damage and reduction on the wave it's placed, so that's a really good addition for Wave 5. And I think he's going to do pretty well here. Even
Yeah, I
against the
mean,
Brute.
this is magic damage. This is actually like really insane damage on 5. Should do okay, but you know, probably like
Pegasus
40-50.
Speed run though.
Yeah, that's a bit unlucky.
Oh, and here comes the friends on 6,
Yeah.
as expected. We are going to have Professor Chaos hold here, and maybe his Pixie's going to die in the mid as well to Sagittarius's leak, so +5 there.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be happy with that. And the Pixie is nice to have some sort of single target. It's not like insane stats, but it's got pretty reasonable DPS if you keep it alive. So
Yeah.
and probably another set of roots as well, or even the...
This can be triple group
imps.
from both players, right? But no, Sagittarius goes for the imps into Pavide's build, and I can see that. You know, there's a lot of natural, there's a lot of swift, so I think the imps is a pretty good addition here.
Yeah, he's cooked here, isn't he?
Fine does drop the Berserker here, so he at least has some hope of not being completely garbage on this wave, but the rest of his units are just so bad.
That's the problem, right? Like, he built a little... He can't full shift on 5, so then you have to build something, and if it's not good on 6, then this is kind of what happens. We'll see how they do, though.
Pavide has a non-zero number of Seraphins and Polywogs on his board, by the way, so we'll have to see how this one pans out. There's 180 Mythium Send for both Fine and Pavide. Triple Brute over here in Fine's lane, just working away. Really nice split tanking, though. But now the Bounty Hunter goes down, the Berserker. Actually, even the Crab taking aggro, so the Berserker just lives forever. It does go down now. Meanwhile, Pavide, that's a 51% leak. Fine, that's a 68% leak, and here we are going to have a decent chunk of king damage. However, Sagittarius and Chaos are both leaking to snails. Yeah,
like, it's not bad if one of you leaks there, but now you actually give them back like a reasonable amount of gold. But I mean, I would say Pawidid is in a pretty bad spot, because he's not really able to push too hard because of his units, and he kind of wants to get like a bounty here. Surprised Sagittarius doesn't just resend here, because I don't really see a point in saving.
Yeah, I would probably resend into. Oh, he gets a brute out.
Oh, after income, I see.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, okay.
fine, I guess. I mean, Pavidad is very weak here, but he's also 125 over value. So let's find out if value is able to overcome just how bad his board is here on wave 7.
Yeah. And I see this is the kind of thing that I like is like just correctly understanding that you are like very likely gonna get some power marks here. So just overbuilding. It's like, oh, you shouldn't overbuild, but like, I mean, if you know what's gonna happen, you should overbuild.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And
They
it's
were
looking like a snack.
looking like a snack. He instantly sniped the brute in Pavidad's lane, so he is able to hold, even though he's only 125 over value. Meanwhile, Fine, he's holding as well. He's on lesser value.
Got
So
his guy.
That's good. Did get his guy, yeah. However, Fine's Bounty Hunter did run it down very early on in that wave, so not too many stacks on that bad boy.
It's a shame, but I mean, he'll take it.
67 stacks on Fine's Bounty Hunter, 73 on Pavida. So actually not a massive difference, to be honest.
Yeah, and you can see that even though Sagittarius has been the most pushed and has the highest income now, he's actually just like giga bottom power score. Well, he also sent after income, so I guess that's part of it. But like,
that damages your power score, right?
it's pretty crazy how the angler like affects the the power score now. So it's like kind of fake, but it is real because the Kingpin is a huge spike.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see what they do with their Mythium. I mean, could just go wave 9. There doesn't look to be that many good units. You can also do the wave 10 special.
I guess Sagittarius is going to have the steed buffed Tree of Knowledge, right, for 9. That's kind of his only option, really. Maybe Wanderers, but...
Yeah, I mean, the Tree of Knowledge might be the best bet. The only risk is that oh god. Sometimes you just like don't fully kill everything. You almost just leaked here to nothing.
Giga holding the no send.
Okay, so we go for a mole.
Alright.
Don't
there's
love mole versus stat, but it's good against the gun, I guess. I think you prefer to just send damage versus the tree, because I don't think the mole changes the damage of the tree that much. Like, it is AoE, but yeah.
I don't know if I love the Seraphins here, though, because if they kite the wave, the worst case scenario is that the Tree of Knowledge explodes on half the wave, right?
No. I mean, this is very good in terms of a counter to brutes, but he has good value, boosted Orchid. I think he should do okay here. He's even got a little Zomba action.
One of the brutes, and now the Orchid is perfectly tanking 3 creeps as well. That's a pretty juicy aggro situation there for Professor Chaos. The Boom Tree goes off now, but that's still going to be a decent leak here from Sagittarius. 67% there. Chaos. Is he just holding?
It looks like a baby
I don't know
leak.
if the Pixie can 1v1 this now.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, like the Boom Tree is like kind of awkward because you just don't fully kill a lot of the groups. And it's kind of weird because like you want your Boom Tree to live a long time to get max mana and so the bigger damage, but you also kind of need it to tank and die so that your other units have a chance to finish stuff off. Other thing with the Boom Tree is now you're weak on 10 to a resend, which may or may not come, and it does.
Everybody sends. Okay, so we were talking about the wave 10 meta, but everyone's just going for income sends here. Now, Fine is going to be fine with his double Berserker, and Pravided is also going to be fine with his 1400 value and the Kingpin. Meanwhile, though, Sagittarius, I mean, he's got 300 gold to spend. Oh, he actually had to sell a Devilfish here. That hurts.
I don't think it's going to help his bottom power score case. And he's actually getting full sent by Fine after income. I'm not sure I agree completely, but it's not that much of a Mythium to put in for a chance to leak him.
He went for this Robo post income. Chaos does have a Nightmare Butcher, but the Nightmare's not upgraded.
Yeah, I think they're both leaking actually, so it is a good call by both of them. And it's kind of when you can't really overpush on 10.
No, it's just absolutely deadly. So 41% there for Sagittarius, 33 for Professor Chaos, and even more king damage being taken on the side of Singularity.
And Fine has just he has the turbo spot in this game now. Like, he has an insane roll, and he doesn't even have his Kingpin, and he's top power score.
Yeah, Fine's on fire. Even 25 gold shutdown there, 69% HP on the king, and they are in a pretty good spot. I think if Singularity want to come back into this one, they have to go for a bit of a risky play now already, right? They need to just try and maybe take the send from Fine and Pavided and go a little bit longer, something
Yeah.
like that. Because if they just try and trade evenly, it's not going to go their way, I don't think.
We go for 1 DR here, and we also mentioned that Sagittarius just is not going to have the late game. And I think Fine and Poeta already spotted that he's kind of useless on 13, and they already started saving. I don't know if 13 is going to be their end goal, especially after this income, but I would expect 13 or something. I feel like 13 is fine.
I think 13 is pretty good, and Professor Chaos, he can be good there with his Orchid and Hero and all the rest of it, and he's probably going to play his Berserker now as well on 12 with his Chaos roll, but he's also going to be pretty far undervalued, I think.
Yeah, and he does have like a lot of the stuff that's almost ready, but he's just going to have a lot of like low value spread out throughout his units because he hasn't been able to upgrade.
Okay, so not too many workers on any of our players here in the first game, and the Mythium counts are not huge, right? We've only got just shy of 300 for both Fine and Pavided, but Sagittarius and Chaos are already undervalued, and Wave 13, they just do not look great.
Yeah, I mean, you might even be thinking about skipping. Not sure. Like, I don't think Poeta can get a Phoenix if he doesn't send. His income looks very low, even with this shift. Fine probably can't get a Doomsday without sending as well.
No, interestingly, Sagittarius is shifting 400 gold here, so he's almost certainly trying to bait the send on 13, or maybe trying to pretend that he's shifting for something, but we can see he doesn't have anything worth shifting for, so...
It's a bluff. I mean, it's worth doing. Not if it just makes them send worse, like, oh, they're like, yeah, we'll just double 4-eye just in case. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, and they actually skip.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with this Income King here coming out from Sagittarius and Chaos, I'm pretty sure that just kind of seals the deal, right?
Well,
Fine and Pavided can go straight 15 now if they want to, and Sagittarius and Chaos just don't really have options there, I don't think.
They do need to hold the Income King.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
we are building not well for 13, but it's actually, honestly, it's like, if Professor Chaos and Sagittarius actually went for full sends here,
yeah, they would have got some leaks for sure.
Definitely would have worked, but like this, no deal.
No, I mean, Fine is good enough here. Sure, he's got Kingpin, but he also has 2 Berserkers with Hero and the Millennium with measure, so he's going to be completely fine. And Pavided, I mean, Pavided is actually very weak on 13.
Yeah, I mean, he's struggling a little bit to this Drake. But, you know, Kingpin's not actually horrible against the fake sends. Like, he usually gets overrun, but, you know, he still does, like, damage when he attacks if he has stacks.
Yeah, true. And there's an APS on it as well, so, you know, pretty high value, 150 gold buff there for 2 Kingpins. It's a lot of damage.
Yeah, but now 15 is coming, and there's not much hope for Mr. Sagittarius. I mean, he can try and go for the boom trees. The gun isn't that bad on 15, to be fair, but I would expect if he got double ram that he can't actually get on the wave. And that's where the boom trees are not having a good time on 15.
Yeah. He also only has the 1 boom tree, right? So is he trying to just turbo buff it with the Pegasus? But then...
Hard to say, yeah.
It can only die once, right?
I guess technically it can use up... If it gets a full mana, it'll actually explode.
That's true. But
so he could double boom
forward as well, right? Maybe he needs to place some more units in front if he wants to go for turbo boom tree strat.
And Professor Chaos is just not going to have enough juice from 15, I think. He's going to roll an Arcane Tank at least, but he's kind of got like that Chaos, like 2 builds going at the same time.
Some range stuff, some backline stuff, and it all needs tanks, and he doesn't have any of them.
Yeah, so we have the Ram, we have the Kraken, and another Ram? A Needler. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, I mean, the sends are huge, right? Now, we do have Income King again from Sagittarius and Chaos, and he's building all of those Pegasus behind the 1 boom tree, so this will die early, and then the Pegasus will self-buff, I guess, which is not 0
bad.
But...
not ideal, I would say. But,
also certainly not ideal,
I mean, Poeted might leak here, but he is technically counterattack, so wouldn't be the worst thing, but... Yeah, he's very low value. I mean, he pushed to leak his guy, which is fine because he does have fine on his team to hold here.
They're obviously just hoping to win the game here. 65% on the king. It does have full upgrades. So let's see, are Sagittarius and Chaos able to survive this massive wave 15 send? 840 Mythium for both.
This Kraken's on a journey.
Yeah, and it's just tanking all of his magic damage as well. It's so painful there for Professor Chaos. He does now kill it, but it certainly did its job there. He's not even going to get the Centaur, I don't think. Ah, he does, but barely. Sagittarius did very well, though. Only leaking
alive.
Needler. Yeah, Pavida does leak the income.
The tricky part now is that Professor Chaos has to push to try and leak his guy. Wait, are they still dead?
It's very close. Come on, King. Oh, come on.
Okay.
Oh, they live. Okay, 7%. Let's go.
Professor Chaos needs to push to try and leak fine, but then Sagittarius has to hold something on 18 probably, and
Sagittarius
I think he holds it.
Like he's capable of holding wave 18.
Yeah, like
maybe
there's no real play.
Honestly, the only might just stall for long enough.
Yeah,
right?
That's probably what you have to go for. The only play I would have seen is like something. I mean, you can try pushing for 17. That's probably the best bet, honestly.
He's prepping his magic damage for 18.
Yeah, that's not quite good enough, I think. But
it's
we shall see.
Okay, so Chaos, as we said, he can't really afford to push too much. He does have the most workers in the game, but only 27 workers. That's not exactly saying much, right? It's just a very, very starved game at this point.
Lost 30 gold. Or 30 value. Staff.
Is he leaking? No, yeah, no, there's a doppelganger.
I think his Doppel's still alive, luckily. I don't think anyone's gonna get tricked into sending 17 this game, so
no,
I think
there's
everyone
no way anyone
knows.
sends 17 here. We do see all 4 players skip, and we do see Sagittarius desperately spamming Sakura for 18. Honestly, I think he's better just with Pollywogs.
Yeah, or just Pixies.
Just Devilfish, Seraphins, you know, like Sakura that's being built on wave 16, 17 is really not all that on 18.
I'm not even sure if it's better than, like their damage per gold compared to like a Pixie, or just full polys, like you said.
It certainly is not, right?
I mean, it might even be worth trying something like where you just full shift here, so that they don't know you're gonna spam polys and then go for it.
Yeah.
But
Alright, so
we did actually did king ups here.
Well, that does help Sagittarius and Chaos, because that's a little bit less Mythium than we'll receive next wave. Chaos, of course, with wave 18 being the important wave, skillfully rolled that Halo, so he's got 2 of those now, with Dark Mages to buff.
Definitely helps. Everyone's sending Kraken Mole into Mr. Bueded. I mean, his tank value situation not looking great. He has Phoenix, but it's not the same Phoenix as it used to be.
No, and the rest of his units are very, very weak here on 18. So Sagittarius with those Sakura, is it going to pay off? He's going to spam Devilfish now, which is, I think, what he probably should have done all along. And Professor Chaos, he is playing to hold, actually. He's got decent tank value. He's got double Arc of Justice. He's got a fully boosted Orchid as well, and even a Fatalizer too. I didn't see that little cheeky guy hanging out there on the Butcher.
He's got the juice for this. It's actually
old.
Yeah, the send isn't that big. It's actually like not a bad. It's like I guess a creative send, if you will, like just trying to counter the single target units by spamming imps. I think it works. I mean, 600 under. Sagittarius is the only one on gray value, actually.
Yeah,
but probably with the worst units.
Are really good on 18, you know?
Yeah.
Chaos is doing very well. Provided is not. He's leaking everything. And Fine, meanwhile... So we see Sagittarius and Provided both leaking massive. Fine is just holding, though. But so is Professor Chaos. This game is pretty interesting, Offma. Will they survive this? There's 4 creeps there and a Shaman. One of them's very low. That dies instantly. And meanwhile, Pavida's entire wave reaches the mid on the left-hand side. So a lot of damage.
The right team lives.
Right side survives, barely. left side.
Team is fine as well.
Yeah, they're living as well. Okay, the game
And
continues.
Professor Chaos Giga pushing now. Probably just gonna commit for 20 and then hope Sagittarius can hold longest. It might work because Mr. Poeted has nothing.
I could even see like a cheeky wave 19 resend, honestly. Like, fine with those fatalizers is going to be really dangerous on 20, but he looks absolute garbage here on 19.
That would be a pretty ballsy call, I'd say that.
And Pavidet's super weak here as well, right? Like, he just doesn't really have much of anything.
He's gonna be weak next wave too, luckily.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, fine building. They both build. It looks like it's gonna be a skip and then hope Sagittarius holds longest. I mean, Fine is not very pushed, to be fair, but there is a chance that Fine can just hold the Sui.
Yeah, Fine is amazing on 20. He has triple Fatalizer, a couple of them on a white main, Hero Aura, he's got Doomsday machines, he's got Veterans and Caskets to tank, like, he's got Wave 20 written all over his build. That's why I kind of thought the Sui push for a 19 resend was a nice angle.
Yeah, it would have been cheeky. Honestly wonder like if the best send is versus Fine. It's kind of hard, but I honestly think that the Centaurs can be pretty good versus Vedas. Just because I mean, they're gonna die, but they actually take a lot of aggro.
And do a bit of
they're a little
DPS
better
as well
than
before they go down, right?
Yeah, like the Needler is way more damage, but it also doesn't stop the Vedas from hitting the boss.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you probably need to send a tank.
And there's a siege.
Yeah, okay, a ram, okay. But like, yeah, if the Vedas start ramping on the boss, it's probably good night, boss.
Yeah.
all
Meanwhile, Sagittarius has to hold is self-buffing Pegasus, which I'm just not sure, man. Like, he's on the best value, right? But
yeah, value is good. Getting a smaller send, like Fine
send is really small actually. 520, including snails. I think he. I mean, his build quality just isn't good enough, right? We said this right from the start of the game. He didn't have a late game role, so it's all going to come down to Fine's lane. I think, will he be able to hold long enough? Because Pavides, he's leaking rapidly. Of course, Johnny C is as well with the Sui push, and yeah, Sagittarius, unfortunately, his build quality just fell off way too hard to try and hold a wave 20 send. Fine is even fully holding the send, never mind. Okay. So that does mean Offma game number 1 has been secured here by Rampampam, taking the lead in the semi-final.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but the red team actually had like a play, potentially, with Sagittarius just full pushing for 18. Even though Poeted was the weak one, they might have been able to kill them through Poeted's lane.
Yeah.
Just because... Okay, to be fair, I don't know if that's true, because he did leak literally the whole wave.
He did.
He might not. It might not have been possible for him to leak any harder. To be fair.
But having said that, Sagittarius also leaked massive, right?
Yeah, that's the tricky part. I mean, it was just like bad Sui angle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the early game was full of small mistakes. Like they had a good opening on 6, but then they opened themselves to income.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a blunder.
They certainly got some work done on 6, but like you say, I think if they had been able to hold those snails themselves, Wave 6 would have been incredible for them. Like, it's still good for them. They won the trade there, but they just lessen that edge by leaking 33% to snails, right? And then we see the Copium resend on 7 didn't work. And then, yeah, a bit of a leak on 9, bit of a leak on 10, down to 50% health. Game is hard. And then we saw 15, which was a massive send. They did just barely survive, almost able to make something happen on 18, but then ultimately losing the race on 20.
Yeah, the double Sui 19 call might have been the juice.
I honestly, I thought that's what they were going for. When I saw Chaos like giga pushing the workers, I thought they were just going to, Sagittarius saves up, sends a Shaman post income or something, and Professor Chaos just sees how much he gets with the suicide push and sends, a couple of Shamans or a Siege Ram or a Needler, something like that. And it might have worked because look at those boards. Fine and Pavided, pretty garbage on.
Yeah, full prepping 20 as well.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, I think I'm like trying to think about it in my head. I'm like pretty sure it works actually.
I just feel like they always lose on 20, right? Because if your best hope for Wave 20 is a self-buffing Pegasus, then I think that's not
Yeah.
really a hope at all, you know, especially when you're trying to counter fatalizers with Hero Aura and Doomsdays and Caskets and Veterans. Like, there's just no
Yeah.
chance, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if there's a better send as well for um, trying to see Professor Chaos. I feel like Ram isn't like optimal in terms of tech. Like he
Yeah.
probably had the best myth to send 2 Rams, but like I don't know. Like I mean, there's probably like something that works in Sandbox. When you have that much Nithium, like surely something can get the job done.
But his build is like literally perfect
Yeah,
on 20, right? Like you would pretty much handpick this role. I mean, look at the size sends, right? His value is basically the same as Sagittarius. He receives nearly triple the amount of Mythium, and he holds while Sagittarius
Yeah,
leads.
and he just
like,
claps it.
It's just not fair, man. It's really not fair.
Yeah, I mean, 20 is definitely one of the most role-dependent waves right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Drakir was talking about how Starcaller Steed is like one of the most broken roles on 20. Like you can actually be super undervalued and hold, and I think Fine might have had the other part of the other side that can do it
Yeah,
with
you
Fedas.
need one of those boss killers, right? You need to have
Yeah,
either the Starcaller or the Fatalizer or the Halo. If you don't have one of those three things with a good tank, then Wave 20 is just deadly, and we saw that here with Sagittarius. You know, he was in a good spot, but his role just wasn't it to hold Wave 20.
yeah.
So yeah, Realm Compound, they are in the lead. They have won with YOLO and double lock-in.
Mhm.
So let's see now. Can Professor Chaos and Sagittarius bring it back here in game 2, or will Fine and Pavided make short work of their nemesis partners and knock these guys out in the very second game? It's best of 3.
Swap the sending order.
They have swapped the send order. Okay.
Yeah, maybe Sagittarius feels like he can actually take Fine out of this game. Maybe. Oh my god, look at those Legion spells.
Okay, let's have a look. Offma game number 2. Oh, let's go.
Nah, but these YOLO. Oh, I thought that was a YOLO roll for a second. I mean, it's a lock and random roll, but it's still insane.
That's a pretty good random roll, yeah. And he gets the 7 gold as well.
Yeah, these lock and gun rolls are not looking very inspiring in the answer to 13 or 15 department.
No, that is really not a great roll. Like Gun and
Yeah.
Serpent. I don't know, man.
He's rerolling already, which I think is definitely correct.
Yeah. I think Gun and Polly is fantastic, and we saw him use it very well in the first game, but he's going to need some top end as well, and it looks like he doesn't have it. Although, this can't be his final roll, right? No way.
Nah, he's in his reroll, right? You would hope.
There's just no way that like Gun and Serpent end up in his final roll.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Honestly, I might not have rerolled on 1. I would have just waited to 2 to reroll so I don't get more tier 1s.
Yeah, true. Because Seraphim is already perfect.
Pavided has a decent roll. Oh, okay. So an Aqua start. I mean, fair enough.
Pavided is on Cartel, which again is his speciality, so it's kind of his combo pick.
I mean, his roll is very solid in the early game. The Steed is kind of weird because his mana user is Pilgrim, so he can't really play around Big Bunk as easily, but maybe he's just going to have one Pilgrim just being the heal boss with a bunch of Steeds.
Yeah.
Play around Magician that way as well. And that's the final roll with Gun. Like, yeah, I'm not convinced.
I mean, at least he doesn't have Gun and Serpent anymore, but again, it's just a roll with no top end. I think he's going to be fine in the early game, but again, he just won't be able to carry the game if it comes down to another like Wave 20 race, you know?
Yeah. At least this time he can Sui into Fine, but it does seem like Pavided will be better in this game because he's not playing on 2 income and 5 workers the whole game. So hopefully he'll be able to show us a little more carry pants himself.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Does anyone have a really good magician role? Not really, right? Or at least not currently.
Well,
maybe the
Professor Chaos.
Oh no, wait, he's on Chaos. Never mind.
Yeah, he'll find something.
He'll find something, yeah, for sure.
Ooh, King Upping Aqua. That is kind of bold, because that's just like a free 7 workers. Well, I guess his units aren't the best for that, so he might not go for it, but like if you have fast waves on 3, like it's pretty chill to go 7 workers and you can only get sent like 60 on 4.
Yeah, income sends coming.
Yeah, he does it.
Everybody here on 3, so people just kind of chilling at this stage. This feels very high to me.
Yeah, I literally was in Sandbox earlier. I think the best spot for that guy is like right here.
I
And then,
place like here.
I mean, that also it also works early game. It's just I do it there because on 4 your gun can't tank as much
Okay.
without just falling over. But then, yeah, it is high. Let's just say that.
I mean, this positioning is like AFK gun territory on every range wave, right?
Yeah, it's close to that. I mean, it won't be too bad as long as like if the buckler dies quick and you still shoot a lot of stuff here. Like if there's a bunch of tanks, then it's like pretty chill. But doing with the buckler is always like, I mean, you always want the gold that adjusts the unit that adjusts your split to be as cheap as possible, right? So
Yeah.
buckler is a little sadder than a like a looter or something.
By the way, I see a couple of chatters talking about the previous game, saying that if Singularity had just pushed 0 workers, skipped wave 20, then Professor Chaos for sure holds 20.
But they lose
right?
the game on 21. Like Fine and Poeta would not send unless they showed 0 value.
Yeah,
because Fine could also just hold 20 very easily, and I think his roll is better on 21. He has even cracks for delay.
Full stop, right?
Yeah, he outrolled the Chaos Slayer with Yola.
Doesn't happen often.
But we did kind of just like free early game. I mean, 7 workers since wave 3. Doesn't really have like a huge weak wave. I mean 6, but he does actually have Final Form Oathbreaker there, which can be quite nice.
A Final Form can be absolutely disgusting. If you upgrade that bad boy on 6 or 7, you can just hold amounts of Mythium that you have no right to hold with an Oathbreaker build, right?
And we're just gonna income here and try and hold 6 as best as we can. It's gonna be rough though, because Fine and Poeta are gonna be able to send quite a bit, and if they don't make the same mistake as they did, Johnny and Sagittarius did last game, that could be pretty bad. We have 0 good units for 6 besides a Warg, which really isn't that good when you get Ascend, and we have only Devilfish. Maybe the Yuzora can come out, which will be a really nice tank, especially if we get some Brutes.
Yeah, and we do see the Brutes, at least from Fine. I have to think that Pavida is likely to send the same, but it could be another Imp send, right? We've got Bucklers, we've got the Polywog showing.
Or at least like Robos, maybe, could be the idea.
Imp Robo could be good. And it is triple Robo, okay.
Ooh, okay.
Alright, we have Brutes coming out from Chaos and Sagittarius as well, though.
Yeah,
so
it's fair.
They're saying, you know, you might get some damage against us here, but we're going to get our revenge as well. And yeah, Fine does not look great here. His split, he doesn't have the final form, that is pretty weak. And Pavita doesn't look amazing either, but he is on value, so...
Yeah, I think Poeta should be fine. Like, this Aqua tank's nice. I kind of would want his Aqua to tank more even with the Pilgrim healing it. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, everyone has a challenge. See how they do.
Yeah. Chaos did get a Pack Rat down here for 6, which is at least good typing, if not fantastic. Brute goes down quickly.
Yeah, this is not good.
I mean, the split tanking is quite nice there, only leaking 2 creeps, but also 4 Robos is a lot. Professor Chaos, meanwhile, that's 3 creeps and a Brute. That's an 82% leak for him. Pavida leak's very small, and it looks like a small leak there for Fine as well. But meanwhile, Singularity, they're going to be losing a lot of King HP here. That's 4 Robos and a Brute and a bunch of creeps as well.
Yeah, I can't help but still wonder if Poeta he needed like 1 more Fire Aqua cast. Like, he greeted a little harder on the left, and it tanks just slightly more. Because it tanks like 1, and it's always fine against 1 with the Pilgrim heal.
Yeah.
Everyone just incoming again. Not sure I love that. I would have... I mean, if they needed the gold, sure, but I feel like there are ways that you should probably... It might be worth saving. Because these builds definitely have weaknesses.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I could see Fine just leaking everything on 8, for example. He looks super weak there. But yeah, we have income sends coming out. Oh, actually a Robo post-income there from Sagittarius.
Yeah, he's ready, actually.
He is ready. His build is very bad here, though, but it's only 2 nails for Robo. Like, come on.
He did go Alpha Male, which is, bad on 7, but actually not that bad. And it's also his Pierce stamp, so probably the best thing you can build. And with the Sea Dragon healing, it's actually, like, pretty efficient, you would say.
With the 20% damage reduction, right? It's good value. It does look like he's going to leak.
Yeah,
not horrendous, he's killed most of the big fludges already.
Not ideal to leak over value, but Sometimes that's the way the game goes.
And it's a very small lead. He's even clearing off a bunch of the blobs there.
Yeah, I mean, good robo.
36% there from Fine. But they went for income sends themselves, so it's not like they have the pressure advantage on the side of Rampant Pound.
For sure. Ooh. That seems like a mistake to me from Polluted to send here. I think you want to go 9 against a gun build that's showing you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think he necessarily needed it here. Like, he would be undervalued, but he's also probably gonna not build for this 40 gold anyways. So, like, I think if you're gonna leak on 9, very likely with these units, like, you might as well try and take your guy down too.
Yep, yep. And we do finally see Singularity skipping a wave here on wave 8.
Never mind. He caught the criminal.
Yeah. Sagittarius going for a bit of a play, playing pretty heavily undervalue, and it looks like he's going to be punished here. Only income send though, so it could have been much worse.
Yeah, and not even a full send. He still had another 40. Like, even 2 more snails. This could be way worse.
Yeah.
I mean, his gun not tanking as well. I mean, it looks like he's leaking like half the wave. Like, you definitely take that. And the thing is, he can't push either. And if you're Poeted, you probably want to just resend that full. It doesn't look quite right.
I don't think Sagittarius and Chaos want to send 9 into these boards, right? We've got Alpha Male already showing both of them have Final Form Oathbreaker options. I think it's going to be a wave 10 send coming out from Singularity, but they need to not die on 9.
This is like a really nice, like, people always overgreed with Kingpin now. Like, he's been 9 workers, right? So he's probably going to overgreed Hunt, and he has 0 damage on the board besides the Kingpin. So there's he has literally nothing to build as well. I mean, he can build Banker.
There's a world where they die here on 9, honestly. Like,
now that you say it...
Professor Chaos is building a Banker here for wave 9.
I mean, it is impact damage. If he doesn't hunt, which he definitely should not, he might be able to hold if he can snipe the Brute.
Yeah.
Brutes, sorry. There's actually 2 of them.
Sagittarius is super weak here. Like, he's
getting
a big
he's
reset.
folding. Yeah, I'm not sure why he took that risk on 8, considering that, like, if their plan is to skip, then he needs to be on value on 8, he needs to be tried and close to value on... Like, he needed a Grawl on 8 so that he could build Kingclaw here and have a chance. No Brute's getting sniped.
Infinite damage over here, look at this. Banker nearly out-damaging the Tempest on a fortified wave.
Yeah, not his best stat, right? But, I mean... Better than not building it, I'd say that. But yeah, leaking overvalue.
Still leaking on Professor Chaos, 38% there. And
they can die to a resend as well, by the way, on 10 now.
Yeah, they don't die to this leak, but it's a ton more damage and a lot more gold going over to the side of Rampam Pam. So I think there's like a Ghost Knight from Sagittarius.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do against a Ghost Knight?
Yeah, there's the Ram.
Yeah, they're gonna leak.
They're gonna leak, but like you said, they need to not die here themselves, right? Which is not guaranteed.
Yeah, probably some cell action for the big gun. Oh, 2 small guns. Yeah, I mean, Archer, not the best versus Ram, and we have a Doomsday. The Sea Dragon disappeared. We won't ask questions. But yeah, GK is pretty good versus that. Shouldn't do horribly, right? He has the Alpha Male already set up, like we talked about, but...
Yeah. The Ghost Knight is going to the split as well, so let's see, will the Doomsday attack the Ghost Knight or not? This is really important. It does.
Yeah, it does. Okay. Infiltrators kill the Brute at least to help the Doomsday, free him from his chains, but...
Well, the Doomsday is
can we kill the Ram
on the Ghost Knight as well. That's Whis aggro there for Fine. He's going to leak pretty decently, and the Ram, of course, just devastating against Pavito, but he's got so much value. So leaks there, 63 and 45. We see Professor Chaos just barely holding, and Sagittarius as well. Both of them 1 unit left. A decent amount of damage here. I don't know if it's enough to even the score, though.
It's something.
It's something. There was a shutdown in there as well.
Give some chances to kill them now. Like, even though the game is 70-30, like, if they make... You're basically 1 mistake away from dying.
Yeah. Also, that 70-30, I think, kicks in before the cartel penalty.
Okay, yeah.
So Pavito now actually has the lowest income in the game after his cartel penalty kicks in. So maybe Jules will change his mind when next wave kicks in and that thing gets recalculated.
Are they not going for a regen here? I feel like for both teams, I would definitely want to
Yeah, like
regen
even just 1 or 2 regen each is super value when your king HP is so low.
this game does feel like it's going to 13, 14, probably. I mean, could even go longer considering these builds, actually.
Yeah.
Very easy to hold under value with these builds.
Now you're in a position, though, where you really just have to stay on value for the rest of the game, because both kings are so low HP. You know, like one relatively minor leak will just end the game here.
Yeah, for sure. So Magician, yeah, I mean, I was like half joking when I said it, but like, yeah, he's gonna go for some Pilgrim Seed Magician healing.
Yeah, it's
comp.
not terrible. It's definitely
Yeah,
not terrible, especially with like
definitely worse than it used to be because of it was really good at abusing split shot on 15. Like you literally couldn't leak it.
yeah.
But now that they have I mean, it's still good. Like it's some value on your board. And his board does lack tank value very, very badly. So not the worst idea.
And with the damage reduction as well, right, on the Oathbreakers, the healing is super worth. What is it, 35% on those bad boys?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Johnny and Sagittarius, you're definitely trying to force 14. Because 15 is not looking solid with your rolls right now.
And Jules has changed his mind a little bit. He's
A little
gone back
bit, yeah.
to 60-40 almost for Sagittarius, but
Weighted is still burning because he has insane value, so his net worth is actually still very high. Especially if he converts the value into holding. Kind of tricky to see how Poeted and Fine will leak on 14, though. It's not like someone is super pushed.
Well, they go for a 13 send. Wow.
What?
Everyone goes for a 13 send.
Huh?
Okay.
I mean, I guess they would. I mean, I can understand sending like into Poeted. Like for sure, he's dead on 13. But I would have thought Fine is like. I guess he's lower value than I thought he would be.
He's low value, but he's so good on 13. You know, the Lioness Alpha Male, good tank value. Doomsday, of course, fantastic here. Double fully boosted Orchid, fantastic as well. Pavida, I mean, he's on value, but his build is pretty trash.
I hate this. I hate this GK send into Doomsday when it's not double GK on 13. Like,
yeah, it's just going into the split.
Yeah, they're not bad players, guys. Like, you have to have some respect for your opponents, man.
Okay, so yep, the Doomsday completely ignores the Ghost Knight. That is a DPS Ghost Knight. I repeat, a DPS Ghost Knight is not going to tank anything. Maybe it tanks now. It does, okay, but like the entire left side of the wave has already evaporated there in Fine Zone. He's just going to hold.
I mean,
Pavided. I mean, he's going to leak.
This GK also basically got ignored. 4 creeps died. Protector on the Doom, like tanking with the Doomsday is very important. And wow, he's just. I mean, okay, neither is definitely not it, but.
He's holding.
Yeah.
Pavida's holding with this build.
I mean, Needler might have been the worst send into a full Parlay board.
Yeah, Needler was the worst possible send into this fully fortified build.
And
like,
you really want melee units versus stuff like Aqua and what's it called? Archer.
How much Mythium did he have? 440? Is it just like double
like
ogre?
Double ogre, moral hermit, some brute or something like that. Sub-ideal, I would say.
It's certainly not ideal. I think if Chaos and Sagittarius had just gone for Income King there instead, they might be in a really good spot now, but yeah, it was just
tough call for sure, because if you Income King and they save, you're cooked.
True.
But now, I mean, everyone is like, no one is very committed to 15, but I also don't really feel like they can skip 15 with their units. I mean, Poeted is definitely the most pushed, and I think it's correct for him to force 15, because with his units in his spot in the game, like, he's not leaking 15, and he's actually weak 16, so it makes a lot of sense to force 14, or 15.
Yep. And again on 15, like, if one boss reaches the king, they die on the side of Singularity.
Just need like a small breeze, and they're gonna fall over.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I mean...
And here comes the send. Yeah, we see the Ghost Knight coming out from Vine. A Ram coming out from Pavided.
Yeah, this time it hopefully is a double Ghost Knight. Ooh, what's going on here?
Is he gonna leave?
Yeah, that's really nice for them. Wait, I actually didn't think that was possible because he had a Doomsday on his board that tanks, but... Huh?
Okay. So now Singularity send as well. We have the Ram coming out from both.
Pretty forced now. The problem now is that versus Poeted's build, if you send Ram, it's really good against his damage, but like he's also gonna out heal you probably.
Yeah.
If you send damage, he's got too much damage. So his build is very good. I mean, they're all undervalued, so he might still leak, but I would expect him to do the best.
I for sure think the game ends here.
Yeah.
And I think it probably
Ooh.
favours Pavided with the best build here on wave 15.
Just trying to figure out how to position a Phoenix on this wave. It's a lot harder now that the game doesn't make your Phoenix tank for free.
The split shot Phoenix was just illegal, right?
I honestly would have preferred him just go Violets. Like, am I crazy? Like, I actually feel like Violets are pretty fine there.
This
okay,
Phoenix
well,
I feel like was not quite it, because that just
not quite, yeah. And now the
died.
Doomsday doesn't tank as well, which is very important considering it has Protector on it.
Yeah, unfortunate positioning there. Like you say, very hard.
And just look at this healing, man. Like, nothing is dead in this lane, man.
he just literally can't die.
Yeah. You literally can't die, yeah, it's over.
Literally can't die. So Sagittarius leaks 58,
yeah.
Chaos leaks 76, Fine leaks as well, but that doesn't matter. Pavided easily holding and covering in the mid. Meanwhile, Singularity, they have been 2-0'd here by Rempam.
Yeah, sick game from Pavided.
Victory.
Yeah, really nice gameplay. Showing us the strength of that cartel pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we look at the graph, it basically was never close. There was wave 6, there was a little glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
But then they took so much king damage there, and then Jules was just absolutely loving the way Fine and Pavided played it from there on out.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky, but they honestly needed to like not send on 3. Like they needed to try and pressure like 5 or 6 themselves. Like they should have realized like 6 is just it's GG for them. So they kind of need something for pressure there.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to say in retrospect, but honestly, Sagittarius could have tried playing without the gun as his early game opener. With like he could have just tried playing. It's not going to be that good of an opener with Yuzora, but at least you're good on 6 with Yuzora and Serpent, and then you can transition to the gun after.
Yeah.
It's a rough game.
I mean, tough. Like he played locking gun twice in a row, and both times his roll was pretty garbage, right? Game number 1, they almost certainly win if he has a higher quality roll.
Mm-hmm.
Game number 2, they just were really behind for the entire game. So
it's kind of cooked.
Yeah, kind of cooked. Kind of a rough one there, Sagittarius and Chaos. So these guys are out of the tournament. You know, well played to them for getting to the semi-finals, of course.
Yeah.
And hope to see them compete next month and future months. But
sure.
Fine and Pavided are current reigning champions. They are through to the grand finals. Do we still have a semi-final on the go?
I see Eidetic not in game. Not sure what that means.
Let's have a look.
I only see 2 games play them. I think they're not done.
Alright, let's have a look at Eidetics.
They're in a lobby? They are in a lobby.
Oh, let's hop into our lobby then. Let's go.
Sneaking in. So it's 1-1 so far from what I can see. Let me check the profiles again.
So these are our underdogs from yesterday's stream, 1M and Intense. They beat Sagittarius and Chaos. They beat Drakir and Isolde. They are currently 1-1 against Shadow and Eidetic. So these guys really could be the underdog story of this month's Nova Cup. It would be fantastic if they won, right?
Yeah, it looks like they lost game 1. They played Greed, YOLO, and then lost to Shadow and Eidetic playing Cash Out and Chaos. And then game 2 they won with Castle Greed. Beat Shadow and Eidetic, who played Kingsguard Cartel. So see what Shadow and Eidetic go for.
Can you give me those masterminds again? I can update the scoreboard before we
start. Shadow and Eidetic won with Chaos and Chaos and Cash Out, and then 1M2O's team they won with Castle and Greed.
Okay, interesting. All right, so we have a tied series. We do get to see the best of 3.
Yeah.
And let's see, we're just waiting for the players to start. It looks like 1M and Intense need a 2-minute break or something. So, Offma, before we get into this match, I guess you haven't really seen 1M and Intense play so far, right?
Yeah. Oh, the lobby died.
Oh, lobby closed. Okay, let's get back into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen them play together. I've only played with and against 1M2O on ladder sometimes.
Yeah.
So I don't really know too much. I mean, I've seen 1M2O also post on Discord sometimes. I mean, he seems like a pretty thoughtful player, at least.
Yeah. They
like
had a
actually
really
trying to.
interesting dynamic actually on the ladder. So Intense definitely plays a supportive role. So he does a
Mm,
lot of early game starving. He does a lot of kind of staying on value and covering 1M's leaks. And then 1M, it seems, is actually a really good carry player. Like he can really snowball off the back of that enabling from his teammate. So they work really well together, and they're clearly punching up. In terms of elo,
yeah,
they won against Singularity. They won against Big Bro Little Bro. Both of those teams are like 500 elo higher rated, and they
yeah,
just mop the floor with both of them. So pretty cool to see these guys play. And now we're about to see whether or not they can make it through to the grand final. Remember, this series is currently tied 1-1. The winner of this will make it through to the finals to play against Fine and Pavided. So, without any further ado, game number 3. Let's go.
yeah.
Now, what I did
Curious
forget is
if
that 1M has a little bit of a loading time.
Shadow. I mean, I wonder if he's gonna go back to his. I mean, they haven't picked Fiesta yet, and I know they do like their Fiesta, but maybe Shadow also prefers Kingsguard Castle. Oh, okay.
Castle for Shadow.
So they lost to this pairing of Masterminds, and they said it's too good, so we're gonna play it ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, no offensive spells. I don't mind it. I think it's a decent pick.
Now, 1M and Intense, I think they definitely play a little bit of Fiesta, so interesting to see if one of those decides to pick it up
Ooh,
here.
it could be spicy, yeah. They're thinking.
They are thinking they can't pick Greed or Castle, but everything else is available.
Oh,
Chaos from 1M, okay.
okay, solid chaos spells for sure.
Unethical Gaming.
Unethical gaming, yeah. That's true.
And Intense, what are you picking? Cartel, okay.
Also unethical, but for different reasons.
Different reasons. So this is really going to come down to the early game then, right? Offma, we have the Cartel player sending into the Castle player there for Shadow Wings. So if Intense can snowball hard enough, then all good, the game is won. But if Shadow is able to stay more or less even with the opponents, he should be able to clap it as we move into the mid to late game.
Yeah, I kind of worry about Eidetic's early game, to be honest, because, I mean, I don't know if he's going to get starved this game, but if he does, it's not going to be pretty. He's dead on 6, pretty dead on 5. Like, he has to, like, his first unit that can save him on those waves is Antler, which is not what you want. And he's playing against 5 worker openers and his team in his castle. Like, I feel like there is potential for, like, legit just, like, the game is just over after wave 6.
Yeah.
If the game plays out that way, but, Legion's not exactly something you can just say something is going to happen. So
No,
we'll see what they do.
Well, talking
And
about
Shadow's
wave
saying
6, there's options, right? Intense is on the Gate Guard with Devilfish, which is broken on 6. 1M is playing Chaos, so he'll just roll a Berserker. Shadow Wings, he has Devilfish as well, but yeah, obviously the Archer is super weak there. And Eidetic does not look great on 6.
And Intense actually saved on 1 and made Shadow stay 4 workers. Shadow going for a snail into 1M2O. Probably not going to work. We got the bazooka down.
Yeah, with
Very good on this wave.
Bazooka, he should be fine, right? It's even split tanking perfectly there for Chain Fist. He's going to hold easily, I think.
Well, they actually went for double snail here, trying to go for a little cheeky, basically try and win the game.
Wait, does it work against Intense? Gargoyle is trash on wave 2.
2 Gargs I feel like should be enough, but maybe not.
Guard does go down. It looks like it's going to be not a massive leak, of course, but
Dog versus World. Now it gives him the option to not send here and just play for 4 against this build, which can be good. Like if you can get to Brute or something, like the build can leak pretty badly.
We see the income sends coming out from 3 of the 4 players. Eidetic does save though, pressuring that wave 4, as you said. We can see Intense does have Devilfish options, which is obviously broken on wave 4, so he should be fine. Building more gargoyles though.
Yeah, kind of like when you go 6 words, you kind of have to build for here as well to respect the send. But very interesting build shaping up for 1M2O. 3 bonies, 2 harpies. It's a chaos build.
It's a chaos build. Eidetic is getting a full send here. Lizard Snail did drop the double gargoyle to pair with his Nightmare though, but Nightmare is just so bad on 3. I feel like.
Yeah, probably gonna leak the lizard. Or wait,
Yeah, he's gonna leak the lizard.
maybe
He
he's
never
just
kills
surviving,
her,
right?
right? Right?
I think
Right?
he's surviving, right?
Well, lizard is just trash.
Beast. Brute? Nope, Fiend. Okay.
Okay,
I
so we have.
mean, he did see the poly, so probably Fiend is actually correct if you're
Yeah,
trying to kill it.
he wants to add the snail now to try and push the fiend into the split. He
That is
will
definitely
be able to
more
afford it.
correct, though.
Yeah.
Well, you probably ideally wanted to tank here, so probably you can go for like a little action here, but maybe doesn't want to mess around with the split.
Yeah, we want
Actually
to
goes
tank
upper
the
split here. Wow.
Okay, this might work now because Intense's Seraphim won't be tanking anything. It's still really good damage
Yeah.
for the wave though. But meanwhile, this fiend on the right hand side is going to shred through his split very, very quickly. That goes down. Now
And the
Gate
Gatecard
Guard
gets the
versus Will.
second summon.
Does get the
That's the
summon.
important one. But yeah, it does look like to be a small leak, I'd say.
Seraphim
Or-
is still dishing out the deeps though. Like it's going to kill a couple more chickens at least.
Yeah, I think it would be a full hold actually if his Seraphim tanked.
Yeah, for sure.
So a
for
small
sure.
mistake,
For
but
sure, if it's Seraphim tanked, yeah.
he is doing the pressure thing correctly. And what we're doing the full overvalue into full send tech. No deal for me.
Okay, full send on 5 here. Maybe catching them unawares, because if I was Shadow, I would certainly be expecting the send on 6, right?
Yeah, I mean, Shadow's Gold is very awkward. Maybe just has to go Mudman no matter what, and just don't harden it.
Yeah.
And then if you get skipped, then harden Mudman's not even that bad.
Oh, he does
Oh.
harden as well. Okay.
Never mind.
If
He's a
Intention
genius.
skipped here, Shadow would be absolutely cooked on wave 6, but he's
Yeah.
kind of getting bailed out
He's-
here by the wave 5 send.
Kind of sus antler positioning as well. Like on 5, like there is the chance for your Nightmare to die. But
His Nightmare looks like
let's
it's
safe.
chilling though, so it all works out there for Eidetic. I think he's going to be fine actually. The Antler is such a good tank here on
Yeah, the
5.
send is also so small.
Yeah.
Like normally when you
Shadow's
go for a
easy
5
holding,
open,
by the way. Easily,
Yeah, I
not
mean-
even close.
Archer is bad, but Atoms are not.
No.
And this is also full. I mean, this is just like you can't play overvalue and then. I mean, I say you can't, but like you shouldn't.
No,
Like, you could,
yeah.
but yeah, it's
That
not
seems
really
like
the best
such
policy.
an unforced error there for the side of 1M because
Yeah.
like wave 6 Shadow would just be completely dead, and Eidetic not much better honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like you think Nightmare is like, I mean, the traditional wave has always been like, oh, 5. I mean, it's a pure Swift unit. Like 5 just owns him, but like this guy is kind of useless on 6 as well because no one positions their Nightmare to tank. And that's the only good part about him on 6, really. Like, he does okay damage if you have enough time, but
Yeah.
he's actually quite weak on 6. And, like, a very common play pattern is to go for a big 5 open into a 6 resend, which usually works because people want to push after they get saved. But in this case, he's kind of getting a free game. He even gets incomed here when...
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
really
like, his
helps,
8 is still a
actually.
problem, but he can get the bunk now pretty safely, or he can push and just do Green Devils.
Yeah, I think
kind
he'd
of
probably
dealer's
push
choice.
and then go for like Devils, like you say, or even just bunk on 8, right? But we do see the big wave
Double
7
brute?
send coming out, only from
Ooh.
Shadow, actually. Eidetic saved here. Oh, I can see
Yeah,
why.
that's
We have a
cheeky,
Harbinger
yeah.
already on the board.
It's actually a pretty nice play. Like, he's just going to force this cartel player to overbuild the whole game. And then, I mean, if he leaks with a GK on 8, then it's kind of cooked.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
And Eidetic is definitely in GK territory. Now, the Disciple, of course, is pretty good against a Ghost Knight,
Kind of-
but
You
I don't know
would
if
think
1
that
or 2 is
it's-
enough.
You do want your Disciple to just be on the Harbingers here.
I
It's not very
think
important
so,
that you split tank with it.
Yeah.
In
If
fact,
that
it's
Disciple
pretty
dies
risky.
on 8, it's absolute disaster territory.
Yeah, and we'll see how the brutes go. I mean, Harpy is just they have a little brute detector built in.
Yeah.
One of them down. It's legit overvalue. I mean,
He's overvalue, but not looking great here, honestly.
I think he's clapping it. The Harpies are actually doing so much damage, but okay, not clapping
It's
it.
going to
Sorry.
be a baby leak, and that's just going to make the wave even longer for Eidetic, who already has 230 Mythi installed.
Yeah, I mean, got your guy. Destroyed.
Got him! I still think that's good for the side of 5-leaf clover, though, right? Because it's just
Yeah,
a
they
really
have more
long wave,
workers.
and there is the Patrick coming out from E1. Let's see how 1N
Well,
will deal with that.
He's looking very non-Patricky for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't want the extra 100 HP that comes from buying the skin, right?
Yeah, come on now. And this is, I mean, this is the problem, right? You have to like, I mean, it's not the like crazy, the hardest problem. Like you put some poly here, but it's kind of annoying. Like you'd much rather be able to dictate your split more
And his
comfortably.
left side is going to just pull way too much, right? I don't like this positioning here
Yeah.
from Intense.
If the disciple, one of them dies, it's really bad. If they split tank, then props to him. It's like really good positioning. But
And neither of them tank. Okay.
yeah, I mean, he's gonna kill the GK.
And now one of them tanking one perfectly. He is going to kill the
Yeah.
GK. I don't know how much more he'll kill though. The Harbinger does not get its second
Couple
summon
creeps,
off.
maybe. I mean, the thing is, like, you would say normally, like, yeah, whatever, I held okay against the GK. Like, I got the GK, got some creeps, but, like, you are Cartel, and you have been saved on while being 9 workers.
Yeah. He's Cartel with basically the lowest income in the game.
Yeah.
There's one player slightly behind, but that's his teammate.
Yeah, it's very bad early game spot, especially considering that you're playing against Castle.
Yeah. I mean, Shadow Wings is
anything can
topping the
happen.
power score here with Castle, by the way, so he's going to be a problem in the late game.
Yeah, he's a bit of a problem. And Eidetic has not got, like, a bad build or anything himself. Like, this is going to be a very nice Nightmare build. As long as we don't build a crap Warlock here.
He found the antler button.
Yeah.
He's chilling.
I'm not sure that's exactly where your antler wants to be, but I mean, it should be fine.
And I could definitely see Wave 10 sends coming out as well, but
Yeah.
actually everyone's just going for income, so...
I think income makes a lot of sense if you're Shadow and Eidetic. You have good builds, you can kind of just preserve your income lead, take the next send if they want to go for a save. Like, first wave that Eidetic is really in trouble on is 11, and probably the same for Shadow. I mean, his 10 isn't looking good by any means, but I think playing Income King is pretty reasonable here.
Yeah, I mean, just look at this power score chart, right? We've got Castle player on top, we've got Cartel player on the bottom. This game feels pretty rough for the side of 1M.
I mean, here's a try with Mole, but Shadow is gonna be... Well... I've seen this leak.
We've got Doppel there for Eidetic, we've got Shadow with the Trinity Archer, and he has not negligible tank value there with the Devilfish.
Yeah.
These things are
It's got
kind of...
pure tank value.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, kind of like, well, maybe he, like, is gonna leak, probably, because his tank value is...
on fire, Wave 10, by the way.
Double Harden.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a surprisingly... That's a pretty hard read to make, I'll say. Like, I don't know if I would make that read every time, because hardening on 10 is not really a big deal. It's like one extra auto from the boss, kind of. But it is going to be valuable. The boss is going to go back to the polys, right?
E1's easy holding.
That's
They'll be able
just
to cover
so
as well.
bad.
Yeah,
That's so unlucky. Like, he kills the mole for sure if the polys don't drag it away. Or if the boss goes with the polys. But, not the end of the world.
And E1 is able to fully cover, so no king damage taken. The shutdown was unfortunate, but now we have the castle power spike kicking in, and Shadow has 90 more income than Intense, the cartel player. So, yeah.
Is that good?
I think we're going to have a bit of a Shadow Wings problem here into the mid game.
Yeah, and he's got a role maybe not as broken as it once was because of Phoenix nerf, or not Phoenix directly getting nerfed, but Phoenix not being quite as strong. So it's not quite the broken combo, but it's still really good. And I mean, Chaos can always pull something. I mean, I wouldn't count him out. He's still highest workers, got the Kingpin Power Spike. Should be in a pretty good spot. Kind of depends on his roles, to be honest.
More income. King Sen's coming out here on 11.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, he got Halo. That's solid. It's close to ideal, you would say, for 1M2O to roll.
It's pretty good, yeah. I mean, he has the Pegasus as well to turbocharge it, so that Halo can certainly do some work on 13.
Yeah, at your Shadow and Eidetic, I think you want to just pressure for 14. And I mean, obviously plans can change, but honestly,
they don't have too much Mythium though. Honestly, it's only 300 for E1 and 250 for Shadow.
They're gonna full push here. I wonder if that just means they want to force 13.
Yeah, I think
Honestly,
they're
don't
looking at 13, but 1M is going to be on value
overvalue.
with a
Yeah.
Halo.
Obviously, he has, like, you know, not the best guy sitting
Yeah.
back there, but it's still reasonable. And same with Intense, is going to have good units, good value. Not really the tank value looking for. You're never able to get an egg off.
Yeah, but the Starcaller Disciple Circle with the Rogue Wave as well, by the way, just to turbocharge that spell damage.
We do send here. We got Ogres into 1 Intense, Pack Mole. Sorry, no Mole, Pack Imps into 1M2. Definitely the correct. Ooh. Okay, I was like,
Income
did they
King
skip?
from the side of 1M. That's interesting. So remember in the previous game where we saw Sagittarius and Johnny go for trying to match a 13 full send and it didn't pay out for them? Well, Income King could be the right play.
Building a Doomsday is crazy if you Income King. Yeah. I mean, like, if you Income King with the intention that you're getting a send here or 15. Yeah, okay. That is much more correct.
And a Devilfish as well, just for pure tank value, is pretty juicy.
Yep.
Alright, I think 1M has a pretty good chance of holding, actually, but let's see how this pays out. 480 Mythium for him. The Halo is just chewing through the wave creeps. Imps are tanking the beam for a while, but now it's back on the wave, and it's just really melting through those golems. Intense, meanwhile, with the Starcaller Rogue Wave Circle, he's doing well, not well enough, still a pretty big leak for him. That's 100% actually, you don't really get much bigger than that. And meanwhile, 1M, he is he holding?
Yeah, it looks like he's just clapping, or...
It's very close, he does, okay, but he won't be able to cover anything in the mid. However, I love the fact that they went for the Income King play here, because if they had gone for those Copium full sends, sure, they might have got a bit of a leak, but not a massive one with only tiny amounts of Mythium.
I think 16 makes sense if you're Shadow and Eidetic, but they did push, so they probably can't skip, so it probably has to be 15. I mean...
1M's actually topping the power score now, so an impressive hold there from the Chaos player on 13.
He is chaosing up. Even rolled Tempest for his dude now. The tricky part is, I mean, you do want to go 50. Like, I'm not sold on this push from Shadow Knight deck. I feel like it's just not correct. When your weak wave is 15, like, you don't really want to overpush. Like, you would rather overbuild and send than overpush and send, I think.
Alright. We do see Eidetic on yellow value. He's obviously holding the no send here.
Yeah.
So it definitely indicates a 15 send, like you said. And Shadow actually continues to push, so it's definitely going to be a 15 send.
I mean, the thing is, like, when you show that value, you're not gonna get your opponent to skip either. So, not really sure I understand it.
We see the full send this time coming out from 1M and Intense.
Yeah,
the Needler
I think that's definitely correct.
It looks pretty good against Eidetic's board for sure.
This send versus Shadow Wings is a little too small, I'd say, but he is just
Shadow's basically Sui pushing, like, there's no way that he holds it.
Unless?
He is hardened.
I mean, if his Phoenix goes bananas, maybe.
Yeah,
but probably,
Phoenix needs to tank perfectly.
Eidetic is cooked, I think. I mean, he's going for Azuria, respectable. Azuria's gotta be perfect, though.
Yeah,
you can't.
It really does have to be perfect, and
that, I mean, with Peewee, you should do even split and boost almost 100% of the time if you're actually scared of Kraken or Rem.
And he doesn't.
Like, but
so
it still tanks 3.
Like
I mean, could be worse.
It's not terrible. Meanwhile, though, we did have the Haven drop there from Intense. 1M is pretty close to value, and he's already on the wave.
Yeah. Should be doing fine. Eidetic is going to leak the boss and the Needler.
Shadow's Phoenix did well. Very well, actually. Shadow is just holding.
Totally.
Intensely.
And
Eidetic
1M2O is...
He's going to kill the boss.
Quite holds.
Oh, he doesn't even kill the boss. It's like one tick away from that.
That's tilting.
They don't die, though.
Yeah, they should be okay, but again,
they
do have to win the game at some point. You can't just keep surviving.
It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of gold as well, going the side of Eidetic and Shadow.
I like that. I think it's egg time.
Oh, yeah, from E1. Oh, but the Chaos player
Uh,
rolls it as well.
I think everyone's putting the egg down. I mean, Ivan has a nice little egg spot here. We are going to egg, right, guys?
Yep, E1 drops it on his white main.
Nice. And we do need to put the egg somewhere. Not sure the butcher is the best one, but I guess it's something.
I don't really love the hidden against the wall egg, you know, because it is a tank at the end of the day.
I think we want to upgrade these at some point. They can't just be decorative for our Halo. They don't buff it yet. Looks like they're prepping 17, but I don't think that is where Eidetic and Shadow are aiming. I think it's kind of obvious with an egg that you're not trying to send. So I think everyone is going to know it's 18. Did we roll anything juicy? I mean, Starcaller, not bad. Steed is unfortunately trapped inside, no access to it with the Starcaller aura, but we'll see. He also has the Pirate as a tank. That could be a decent pickup for him as well. But I think his build is lacking damage, so I'd much rather him try and go for some more DPS units. He has only tank value basically on his board besides his Halo.
Yeah, that's true. The one Halo is you need a little bit more damage than that, right?
I mean, it's good, but yeah. The old Halo and tanks is pretty applicable until, you know, the very end of the game, where we're kind of at. But he's actually just going to go for more tanks.
Fair enough.
Maybe he just nice lucks like a Hades or another Halo. And
then,
you know, his damage problem solved.
And then he can just sell the mini Grolls as well. Meanwhile, the Shadow's on 150 gold shutdown, so economically he's doing phenomenally well.
Yeah, I mean, his full push into like not get leaked is basically giving him an insane income lead. Along with the fact that he was castle ahead in the early game, blah blah blah. He's basically got himself into a super nice carry spot. I wonder. I mean, I would expect to see the Sens come in here, but
holy, Shadow actually has 200 more income than Intense. Like, this doesn't really get more one-sided.
So everyone's gonna skip. I mean, yeah, I don't agree, but you know, more power to them. Like it seems wrong to me. Like,
yeah, we
but
do see
maybe they are scared.
Boosting, so that's 60 gold he'll never see again.
Like, I don't think they would live here, even if 1M2 pulls like a rabbit out of his hat. I mean, that is a pretty nice rabbit,
that's
not
a
as
pretty
good as
good
it
rabbit,
used to be.
The Phoenix to go on your double Leviathan, like, it's a pretty dream spot there for the Chaos player, but the Send does not come here.
Yeah. I mean, like, double Kraken versus this is probably, like, legit 100% leak.
Yeah.
And then here, I mean, probably you can, like, leak at least one creep, I would imagine, but, I mean, everything is fine.
Shadow doesn't even harden here. Like, he built for 19 with the Daphnes and keeps his Golem unhardened, so he's just.
I think they would have both leaked, or I think Eidetic and Shadow might have leaked here, to be honest, to Ascend.
Eidetic definitely would have leaked here to Ascend.
Yeah. Shadow maybe not, but he's full building for 19, so like that's not ideal. And okay, well,
I mean, Eidetic really leaking to no Zen, so.
But here we go. Sends are coming in. They look pretty fine to me. I don't see anything crazy incorrect.
Shadow just holds here, though, right? Like, he's going to harden his Mudman. He's got
the spam small guys.
Trinity Archer spam, plus Daphne, actually. That's a pretty juicy combo.
Yeah. Daphne is definitely one way to make the late game of the Archer even better.
Yeah.
Giving you a little more single target is what you want.
Yeah. I think Shadow just holds. Like, he's 600 under, but all of his value is good. I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
E1, I mean, he's got good units, but he just is lacking in value, so that will be a leak there for him. Same with Intense, actually. Good value, good units, bad value. And 1M, I mean, he's also just way, way under at this point.
Don't love these random robos. Like, people need to be a little more... Like, there is a lot of value in setting a pack instead of 4 robos when it's this late in the game.
Yeah. And Shadow's just easy clapping. It's like not even close in his lane. E1, I mean, he's going to leak, but not horrendously. Intense leaks everything, 93%. There, 1M's doing very well, but it's not going to be enough. And even I don't think he would have been ready for round 2 in the mid. So yeah, Shadow holds with a lot of value alive. Eidetic leaks, but it doesn't matter because 5-Leaf Clover are victorious here, wave 19. But you know,
Yeah.
well played to Intense and 1M. They really
Yep.
exceeded everyone's expectations.
They made them work for it. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
But
But ultimately,
yeah,
that
shout
means
out
we
to
have our grand final decided now. So we're
yeah.
going to be able to see Fine and Pavided facing off against Shadowwings and Eidetic in the grand final. So that's a pretty juicy one.
Yeah,
But I think we should give our players a little bit of a break because they've had some
for sure.
intense gaming already so far today. So what do you say we meet up again here for the next game in about 10 minutes ish time,
Yeah.
something like that?
Sounds like a plan.
Amazing. Okay, Twitch chat, don't go anywhere because we are going to be right back with those grand finals. We will see you soon. Welcome back, Twitch chat. I hope you didn't miss us too much during that break. We are back now with the grand finals. It's going to be Ram Pam Pam, of course, that's Fine and Pavided, playing against the Five Leaf Clover, which is Shadowwings and Eidetic. So that's going to be a pretty interesting one. We did just see Shadow and Eidetic managing to do the impossible and knock out 1M and Intense from the tournament. The Drakir Slayers, the Sagittarius Destroyers that they are. Pretty exciting gameplay there. So 2-1 in favour of Shadow and Eidetic. And we're going to have to see now, are they able to knock down the Titans that are Fine and Pavided? Remember, Offner, according to the script, a different team has to win Nova Cup every month this year, which means even before going into the finals, it's a foregone conclusion. Shadow and Eidetic will be this month's champions. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, let me just review the script notes again. Looking good.
Or, on the flip side, will Fine and Pavided be our first team to shake off the 2024 curse and manage to win 2 Nova Cups in not only in the same year, but back to back, actually. They're our reigning champions, remember. So what are you thinking about this matchup, Hoffman?
I mean, it's definitely, you would say, Fine and Pavided have the edge, but I think Eidetic and Shadowwings, like their quote-unquote superpower, is that they kind of always punch to the weight class of whoever they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
So they always have good chances, but they also have the potential to lose some games to you would consider worse opponents, but should make that for a more exciting game, considering they are going against Fine and Pavided. It should be pretty interesting. I mean, their styles are very different, I would say.
Yeah.
Like Shadowwings and Eidetic definitely a little more starve heavy. It's not to say Fine and Pavided don't do it, but I think Eidetic and Shadowwings prefer to coin flip a bit more, and Fine and Pavided a little more ink up heavy.
I actually think so. So the way that you described them as punching to the weight class of their opponents, I think that is a consequence of them going for those coin flip plays, right? Because they go for those long staves. They really, really commit. Sometimes when they don't need to, or when they really shouldn't. And if that works against a really good team, it wins them the game. If it doesn't work against a much lower rated team, it loses them the game. So that kind of coin flip gaming can quite often work to their disadvantage, especially when they're playing lower rated opponents, when you have to think they could just outscale them, right? But against those higher rated opponents, like Fine and Pavided, both super highly rated this season, they both have well north of 3k elo peaks already this year. Maybe this coin flip gaming is going to snatch a game or 3 in the favour of Shadowwings and Eidetic, right? So we'll have to see. It's going to be pretty interesting either way. We do, I think, have a lobby available.
Yep.
Up in there. Yes. Okay. All right. So, any predictions?
One thing. I mean, I'd probably go. I mean, I'm down for a 3-2, but I'd probably still give it to Find and Polluted. I do think Shadow Wings, another advantage he has is that he has definitely got a deep bag when it comes to different masterminds.
Mm-hmm.
The man can play pretty much everything. I don't know if he's down to play some things, but I definitely know that he can.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so 3-2, I'm definitely loving that angle. I would love to see the full best of 5 played out. And in terms of the winner, or at least who's going to take the early lead in this series, we are about to find out because Offmer, here it is, game number 1.
Yep. And Insta Chaos. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Okay. That's definitely a cook.
Pavided with his famous now double lock-in angler mask. Can anybody stop this man?
Yeah. Shadow Wings, Goblin Copter, Aqua double lock-in.
Okay.
Not your everyday lock-in, I'll tell you that.
I
But
mean,
the
let the man
synergy.
cook, right? There is a magician in the game.
Yeah.
And Goblin Copter with Magician and Rogue Wave is actually an obscene amount of damage. Like,
Yeah.
you can't underestimate this combo. It's a really cheap combo. The Goblin Copter's 130 gold, and the Rogue Wave obviously is 165. So for the very, very low gold investment, you can actually have a super high amount of DPS with just those 2 units.
Whoa. That is not correct, I think, when you're Chaos. And he has Fire Aqua, which I think is a much more acceptable opener.
Yeah, Sakura in Chaos is really hard to play, actually, but especially because it really comes down to that wave 3, right? Like,
Yeah.
Sakura without a seedling in the split on wave 3 can just easily die to a DT.
I mean, even on later waves, like if you have another unit in the split that actually autos the DT, that means you have to hit the DT later. So pretty risky. Another thing about the Goblin Copter and the Aqua is that on wave 3, it makes the threshold for killing the creeps super nice. So Shadow was talking to me, like if you have Master Aqua, you can go 7 workers.
I guess that's why he's done the double lock-in then, right?
Yeah, I think he's just trying to read. I mean, it's not a bad read, but like we mentioned, just kind of a low worker gamer with this double lock-in, right? So maybe Shadow can create some sort of advantage that way.
He is going to add a rat into the split, it looks like, just in case there's a cheeky snail coming out.
1 little bro. Maybe 2? 2 little bros.
2's enough to hold against a snail, right?
I mean, it's Drakir, and then it's Genome.
Oh, there is a cheeky little snail, so we're about to find out if 2 is indeed enough.
Look at that split tanking. Pretty nice. I mean, do you like...
Oh, the Goblin
I would expect it to leak.
Really clean kills there as well against the 2 that the rats had been damaging.
Yeah. But...
It is...
Oh my god.
It is enough. Okay.
Forgive me, Goblin Copter. I wasn't familiar with your game.
Goblin Copter double looter. Snacking wave 2.
Beast. And yeah, look, this is basically 7 workers worth of value.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe a little more, but...
Okay, so there's only income sends coming out from Shadow and Eidetic. 73 gold there on Fine is super ugly. He actually has to sell his fist for an infiltrator, which is kind of a yikes.
I mean, it's kind of what happens when you go 6 workers.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know if that's better than just building a couple fists, but...
Yeah, I mean, it hurts. It's still -8 gold as well, right? But isn't he even leaking here?
Yeah.
He is 61% leak against a DT. Just how bad do you have to be to leak to a DT on 3-on-3-on-3?
I mean, at least he's filling up the mana bars.
That's true. That's true. Just helping out his teammate.
Yeah, I mean, he tried.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean...
Pavided accidentally pushed a worker, and now he can't afford the bounty hunter.
Yeah, it's over. I mean, yeah, he'll be okay. Maybe these bounty won't show up for a while. Like, I assume he's gonna shift here, try to get Zerker, maybe. Or... I mean, you're not gonna build 2 more Anglers, are you? So... Okay, goes for Income King at the Shadow again. Shadow playing a little more on value now.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow should be actually chilling against this. I think Goblin Copter has a pretty interesting threshold against wave 4. Like, it should be terrible on this wave, but it's just not because it perfectly 3-shots the wave.
Yeah, and I think Lucy was already saying that she thinks that Whirlycopter is probably the best opener in the game, and I'm
I
kind of
think
inclined to
I
agree.
agree. I think it's super strong right now. It's so good on like all of the first 7 waves.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Like, I think in my estimation, it's like 5 and 6 are like the best ways to try and target it, but
Mhm.
even then, like, depending on the other units, it's just clapping anyways.
Yeah. Now E1 did find
Just,
another seedling actually, dropping a pixie there in the split.
this is kind of risky from Pooweeded. Don't, I mean, Idetics not gonna get to Brute after income or something like that, but yeah, like, this build definitely leaks really hard to Brute.
Mm-hmm.
But,
He
looks like he's
also
chilling.
did need something for 6 though, right? So is it almost riskier
Yeah,
not to shift gold?
yeah, well, maybe. I mean, depends. If he gets the Zerker, then, no problems, all planned. But if he doesn't, then we might see some trouble.
Yeah. Now he has super low income. He actually needs to sell the mask, which he must do.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does. Okay.
should be fine.
Should be fine now with that Berserker.
I mean,
And we have
it
the
is.
Giga Breaker here from Vine, so this is just gonna slap the wave.
Yeah. Shadow just saving, though. Not as pushed as I thought he could be, but I guess that is the penalty of playing double lock-in. And saving. But yeah, not... The way Idetics build has progressed is very poor, I would say, for Sakura. Like, not ideal. It's not too bad. Like, he's definitely getting a pretty nice early game push, but yeah, 7 he's cooked. Is he cooked here? I wouldn't think so, but
I mean, when the Rockos start dying, their DPS drops off
yeah.
a cliff, right, because of the passive,
But
but it
still...
looks like it's still enough, just barely. He was
Yeah.
losing the Sakura stack against a single DT. Meanwhile, Pravided is holding the 100 full send from Eidetic, so things looking pretty good for Rem Pam Pam here in game 1.
Shadow kind of doing the tech against with the new bounty is basically he's just saving into Income King. And kept Fine pretty low workers, and now Fine's not even gonna get gold.
Yeah.
So pretty nice play from Shadow so far. Like, definitely a more supportive style, but could have tried to carry, but it's doing his job if he's not.
This is something you don't see very often, though, which is the double
Yeah.
lock-in player topping the power score with their mighty 2 income.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing a pretty clean game. I wouldn't say it's been the hardest game for him because he got incomed on 4, and that's kind of a bailout when you have anglers. You really want to keep pressure into 5 and 6. Let's see how Eidetic does here. He's overvalued, but he does have that Sakura and that Chlor Pixie.
Already dead.
Yeah, he's fallen over.
Slime
I mean, this is the risk, right? I mean, going Pixie in the split is a big commitment, especially if you don't have to. It's kind of something I remember. I think the first one I saw doing it a lot was King. Like, his idea was always that you pretty much, it's always worth it. Like, if you can kill the Pixie every round from 4 till 7 or 4 to 6, he's like, it's worth enough. You can't hold 7 anyways. But I think in this case, wouldn't say it's that worth. I mean, he does actually end up doing pretty good here. The send wasn't big enough, 60 cent.
Yeah, but he's still leaking to a 60 cent while being overvalued, right? Like, it's not ideal for him. And what's more is his Sakura just continuing to lose those stats, right?
Yeah.
You have to think if he survived on 6, he probably would have held here as well on 7.
The hips are definitely suffering this game.
They are.
But Shadow himself playing pretty much undervalued almost every wave I've seen.
Shadow's playing
Wave 6,
super
I think.
clean, actually, so far.
Yeah, pretty much no mistakes and doing a good job of keeping Fine down. I mean, how often do you see Fine at the bottom of power score?
Yeah, right.
Not that
and
often,
he's the
I'd say.
highest income player as well with that YOLO roll, by the way.
Yeah, so...
Very,
Obviously, he made a
again,
mistake.
what is it with
but...
Fine and these, like, juicy YOLO rolls, by the way? Like, this is a
Yeah, like...
perfectly playable roll.
Cheater.
He's cheating, yeah.
Okay, no Kingpin, just... Wow, playing pretty risky in terms of value here from Pooweeded, and he might get punished. It's not like a full send, but it is at least a Robo and all the Mythium. And is this a full send into... I mean, it looks like a full send. I feel like 120...
It's full snail send, yeah. But I think he's going to be, the Slime Omni full mana, that's an easy hold for Eidetic. Meanwhile, the False Maiden is going to clean up a little bit more, but still a 49% leak there from Pravided. Meanwhile, Offner, can you help me out? Do you know what this icon is here in Eidetic's lane?
I think that might be a little Shay Stare over there.
Ah, Interesting. For the Pee-wee Guild. Very nice
Yeah.
guild emblem there.
And we have
so
some full sends, yeah.
Full send coming out from Pavided. It's a mole and a brute into Shadow Wings. So we're going to have to see exactly how broken this Whirlybird is. It is impact
Got the
damage.
Rogue Wave
And it is
combo.
buffed by a Rogue Wave, yeah, so...
And we do have... Is he going a second Zerker here? Or what did he sell for?
I mean, it must be a Zerker, right? What else does he want 190 gold for? Yeah, so he's expecting the send to come on 10.
Maybe... or he's just trying to play around Ogre, maybe?
Ah, maybe,
but
yeah, maybe.
He ogred.
The Ogrerunt. It's a mole, a brute, and a robo. So let's see, the Whirlybird
Yeah, he does.
is kind of popping off. Let's keep eyes on this damage tracker. Whirlybird is basically his highest damage unit, although Rogue Wave is on top.
Rogue Wave kind of... Okay, Rogue Wave.
Rogue Wave is cooking against Wave 9, apparently.
I mean, he's still leaking bad units. What can you do?
75% there from Shadow, and meanwhile there was another full send here into Pavided, who makes the Kingpin
Yeah,
hold
it's a stack.
easily.
I mean, Pavided, to leak Shadow, he basically sacrificed his Wave 8. Like, took it, and
we
you know,
have
that's respectable.
Another dead Sakura.
Yeah.
But still no king damage. So E1, despite losing a stack there, does prevent any damage to the king, and both teams actually still have a flawless game so far in terms of king HP.
Yeah. And I think Shadow is definitely in a pretty good spot still, even after that. Like, pretty high income, reasonable worker count. Fine actually doing a lot of saving now to try and get Pavided into a good spot. Skips 10 on the arc here, and the Sakura. I'm not sure what the plan is. Maybe like 12 straight?
Shadow's
PPA?
going for a bit of an interesting play here. He's going for a dead egg. Problem is, with this egg, your berserkers are both going to run it down before the egg dies, right?
You would hope that they don't, but I think you're right. I'm not sure. Yeah, the Packer was just a little too negative. I mean, okay, the biggest problem would be if he held and the egg is alive. I don't think that's possible. Yeah, okay, the egg will die, right? Wait.
Wait, the egg? The egg?
Okay.
Okay, it dies.
Okay, yeah.
That's fine.
That would have been really bad, but this, not so bad.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Actually,
Full
Pavida just
Robo's
goes for
here,
the
wow.
income send, I guess, knowing that the egg popped, right? Like, if the egg
Yeah.
didn't pop, he would have sent Robos for sure.
So fine trying to leak Sakura on 11. A little untraditional, but my deck didn't roll anything. I mean, Violet is his best tank, maybe?
Violet's pretty sweet on wave 11, honestly. Like, it's perfectly tanked, it does good damage.
Oh wait, is he going for Chieftain buff Sakura?
Wow, absolute insanity.
Oh, he's... Nah.
Titan on a Crusher? E1, what are you cooking, fam?
Technically, that's fortified. I think Violet might have been better than Triple Crusher at this point in the game. But,
Well, we're about to find out. You know, it's got a lot of regen, and it's regenning, it's regenning, and it's dead.
It's good. I mean, you know, fair enough. At least you put Titan on a fortified unit. That is a good step forward to holding.
It's non-zero value, yeah. Shadow Wings, he is easily holding, and now we have these Magician Whirlybirds just popping
let's
off in
go.
Shadow's lane.
I mean, it's time for him to egg as well, right? I mean, he's snacking this and Eidetic obviously leaking.
Eidetic didn't leak too badly, honestly. That was a 400 Mythium full send, and he leaked 63%. Like, this is...
Fine definitely committed very hard to that. It's kind of the thing, like, if Robos are your best send or what you choose to send, and they're able to kill a bunch of them, it actually is a lot of gold in terms of
true.
that Eidetic's able to take back there.
True. And Jules is actually favouring 5-leaf Clover, not by much, only a 4% edge, but that was first blood at least going to the side of Rempampam.
Yeah, I think you have to say Pavided might have the best spot in terms of right now who's ahead. I mean, the power score would say so as well, but Fine definitely in the worst one. Although, maybe Eidetic's build has some issues that might prevent it from being stronger.
Yeah, like the triple Bone Crusher Titan, maybe?
I mean, the symmetry is good. That's gotta be something. It's gotta be worth something.
Yeah.
And the eggy. Let's see if it's an alive egg. Kinda has to kill the left side pretty fast.
I think it's an alive egg. It nearly wasn't.
It's a dead egg, I think. He actually has not that much damage on this wave. Considering the Whirlybirds are not good against 12, but...
I wonder if it was worth just not treasure hunting here, because I don't think 13 was the play really from anyone, so you kind of get a living egg, right?
Yeah, or just, you know, keep it on the left.
Yeah.
That's the guaranteed way, but honestly he's undervalued here, so maybe he was actually worried that if he eggs and they get a send, it's not looking good.
I'm still very proud of Shadow for cooking up this Magician Whirlybird Rogue Wave build, though, by the way.
Yeah, I did not have that on my bingo card for the double lock-in Aqua Whirlybird.
Yeah.
This Doomsday needs to tank, I think. I mean, obviously not that good to tank with a Millennium, but on 14 it's a lot of value if it goes up there, and on 15.
It attacks more than nothing.
Like, same with Poeted, like, if it's too close, I think. Like, the Veteran is just... it's never gonna tank.
Look at these Whirlybirds popping off Offmer. The rockets coming out thick and fast. Whirlybird's just smashing that DPS chart for Shadowing.
Yeah, and here we go. Here comes the send. Presumably going to be double GK versus this GK. Oh, actually, you don't even need double GK. You built GK. You built the Doomsday on the right. We just do double GK at home with the Fiend.
Yeah.
And sends from everyone. Double Ogre. I like double Ogre into this. No tank value at all, basically.
Shadow has completed his Whirlybird circle though, so that's an easy hold for him.
Yeah, that's Exodia, right? You just you start like something on the board happens, right?
I mean, he literally can't die.
Yeah. Fine has 3 Trinity Archers. Not a lot of tank value, gotta say, but also getting the smallest send by far.
Yeah, everyone's pretty much on value though. By the way, like.
Okay, well. I was gonna play my Dedek a bit for not sending the GK to the right, but also Poeted didn't even try to move the GK to the left, so that's all good. And yeah, the Doomsday not tanking is really bad. Like,
yeah, you need that arcane.
Not to flame too hard, but like I would expect people at this elo to always try and make their Doomsday tank on 13.
Yeah.
Like same here, like you just lose a lot of value.
Eidetic leaking massive 100%. Shadow with the Whirlybirds. Literally can't die unless 50%. Poeted leaking basically the same, by the way, but I think everything on the right is a bit healthier, so they're probably going to take a bit more king damage on the side of 5-leaf Clover.
Not sure, it's pretty even trade, yeah. But you do have to note that 2 of them on the left team went PTA, so their sends were supposed to be more impactful.
Yeah.
But they have way better scaling in terms of value. Well, okay, I don't know how much this is worth, but the Magician is definitely worth something, and I mean, the Titan is not worth nothing. It is still, you know, 1300 HP.
Yeah.
Plus like 1 or 2 from the regen.
And it looks like E1 now building to try and hold a 16 send. He's prepping
that's why you put the Doomsday back here.
Yeah. So, because you know that you roll the
APS. You do hit APS every time. But yeah, Poeted going for a super push here. Looks like they look like... I would have rather played for 17, I think, but...
I can see it, like 16 against Shadow's impact damage.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally fair. I just feel like with their builds, 18 can be the problem, and 17 is where they're the strongest, but a 16 send, if you feel like they won't send, could be good. Okay, they are also matching 16.
Everyone's going 16, okay.
Fine with the no push, but he doesn't really have the tanks here. I can't lie, his Orchids and these Consorts going to put in... I mean, he does have damage. No, there's 4 of those guys.
The Orchids are not bad tanks, honestly. They're swift armor, of course, so...
And they're good at killing imps, which is what the Sun is going to be. They basically, I mean, they're like one-tapping imps if they ever auto them.
Yeah.
We have MPS, and we're building more... I mean, we do... I mean, I guess he just can't roll tanks.
Apparently not, yeah.
Yeah, he's just not a hitter. So we'll see how he does. I mean, the Sun is not very big, I must say. Kind of just auras.
Shadowing is getting by far the biggest send, I think. Right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Poeted is definitely the most pushed out of everyone here.
600 send into Shadow, whose Whirlybirds are snacking the wave. Eidetic has the smallest send. He also prepped for masks, but again, he just has absolutely zero tank value. That's going to be a big leap here for Eidetic. Shadow, meanwhile, I mean, he's doing well, but Eidetic leaks 89%. Pavided leaks decently. Fine does as well. I mean, is this just a race?
Dead.
Are we just
Someone
in race
should be
territory,
dead.
Offmer?
Yeah,
we
I
are.
didn't expect this to be a 16 race.
But I think Rampampam are going to clutch this.
I think so as well.
They do.
Yeah. I mean, that's not how I would have thought they would end this game, but yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's certainly one way to go. Now, that wave 16, is there anything that they could have done to survive there?
I mean, Income King? Well, that's... I mean, I think they're just cooked.
Yeah, I think they just, Income King is not really ever enough. Like, Shadow just receives a massive send there, and it is his weak wave. And
Yeah,
Eidetic,
I mean-
yeah, he just never rolled a tank apparently in 16 waves. So, yeah, he didn't have a
Yeah,
chance.
the only tank he rolled was Doomsday. Okay. To be fair, on 15 he could have went for tank value, but he chose to prep mask, and then he obviously got kind of punished by no tanks showing up in his role.
Yeah.
But it's hard to predict that. Like, prepping mask is also a reasonable decision.
I think Shadow probably could have done pretty well, but he received
Yeah.
by far the biggest send, right? So he just got kind
Yeah,
of
good call by
run over.
Poeted to push.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, I'm kind of that egg on 12. If it had lived, would he hold? He would just
that
hold
could
14
actually have been
probably,
a diff
right?
maker, right? Like if that egg
Yeah.
is on full stacks on wave 16,
Yeah,
it
he
provides
holds 14
quite a lot more
probably.
tank value.
And then if he holds 14, or does better on 14, take less king damage, he's in a better spot to hold 16. Like, maybe they win this game, but
Yeah.
it's the small things for sure, and that's a very
Legion
close first
really
game.
does come down to those like tiny little split decisions and giving an inch and taking a mile and all of that stuff. So I
Yeah.
think that Hydra dying on 12 might have just been a fatal mistake there from Shadow, but he also got plus 11 Mythium, so you be the judge.
True. Very true.
Alright, so that was a win with YOLO and double lock-in for Rampampam. They do take an early lead now in this grand final, and that does mean the pressure's off them a little bit, right? Because they can they can play around, maybe go for some spicy masterminds, maybe we see a Fiesta pick or something like that.
Yeah, I could
but
see that.
It's a
I
nice
mean,
position for them to be in, for sure. Alright, they can
But we did
cruise a little bit.
kind of opening the bag a little bit. I mean, it kind of like was known to be only playing standard masterminds. Cartel, Greed, Cash Out basically was his choices last time, and they're pretty much all this, interchangeable. But
So he just plays vanilla,
double
basically.
lock-in. Yeah, double lock-in bag. Let's go.
Yeah. We'll have to ask him if he makes it to the winners interview. We'll have to ask him about the tech with the double lock-in mask and angler.
And is he Witterson's biggest fan?
Yeah.
Or is Witterson his biggest fan now?
But hey, the players are not messing about. They are straight into game number 2. Remember, there is a 1-0 lead in
sending order
favour of
change.
Rampampam. So let's see, will the 5-leaf Clovers be able to even this series? Offmer, let's go with game number 2.
I always feel like if they change the sending order, it's specifically for a mastermind choice. Like, do they want to pull out Fiesta now or something?
We
Or do
have
they just
lock-in
want...
random for fine. We have Cartel for Pavided.
Maybe they want Shadow to starve Poeted because they expect Cartel now.
Hmm.
So they move Shadow there. I can see that. Like, that is a very nice YOLO roll.
A really nice YOLO roll. Yeah,
Like,
that's,
is
that's
everyone
like-
just cheating today?
That's fine tier YOLO roll, that is. Meanwhile,
Lock-in
Fine's
random.
lock-in roll is actually pretty bad. I think the lock-in roll is much worse
Yeah.
than the YOLO roll in this game.
It's got some early game choices, but yeah.
And there's that Fiesta that you talked about. So is Shadow just going to turbo cringe into Pavided's Cartel and try and take him
Or-
out of the game?
Wait, why did he even double lock in if he can just do that? He just has the combo again for free.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, it's not even the worst Fiesta opener. You can go for that 6 workers on
I
2.
think that's actually pretty smart from Shadow, right? Like if he starts with the Whirlybird,
He's going
pushes
gun,
6
right?
workers,
No?
because his opponents
Oh,
are just going to
okay.
think he's double locking again, right? Because he did it
Wait,
previous.
the double Fiesta trick.
Yeah.
Like, no way they think... I mean, okay, he's building. Sorry.
Yeah.
No tricks. I mean, probably fine, because if you want him to go 6 workers, you do not want to leak on 1.
Hmm.
Okay,
Oh, no,
I was
he
like,
does.
he
Okay.
is gonna build, right?
Yeah. Very playable role there from Eidetic, actually.
And for Poweated, I know he loves this Slime Siren. I swear, whenever I play with him on ladder, he's like the genius of Slime Siren. But it makes sense with Cartel. Like usually, this unit needs value to be good, and Cartel is a good way of getting value.
Yeah.
And Atom is a nice combo to hold 4 usually.
Shadow did save on 1, which is a bit of a punish because Slime Siren's really hard to leak in the first 3 waves.
Yeah, but he might just be. There might not be a send for the first 3 waves.
I mean, this is
knowing
Shadow that we're talking about. Yeah, I could see him just go like straight wave 4 or something with a Mimic, you know?
And I think if I was fine and I knew I was playing against Shadow Wings, I would definitely snail here. And he does. I think it's a fine risk to take against Whirlybird because a lot of time they go 6 workers anyways. So like, if you catch him greeting here, it's pretty nice. And he is going to catch him.
It is a pretty decent leak against the snail, right? What is it, 58?
Yeah. Let me check the stat
58.
book. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're a genius.
Shadow is brooting. Okay, so he's
yeah,
going pretty
not
aggressive.
very nice. But staying 5 workers can do okay here, I think.
Yeah, Pavita just...
I've never seen it.
He just holds though, right? With a Slime Siren and like an Atom or something?
If it gets full mana, yeah, for sure. But I don't know. Maybe Brute is fast enough? Okay, it's not going to be Brute. It's going to be 100.
Oh, wow, okay. Let's go for this.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
And this is why receiving from Shadow can be very tough. I mean, it's not every day you're just like, yeah, let me just try and hold 100 on 3 real quick.
He kind of needs his Atom not to run it down mid though, right?
He's going for a half tile build, trying to get his Atom to tank really nicely, but yeah, not run it down like he said.
Yeah.
Maybe he just noticed that he block built, because now he's trying to figure out where to put this Atom.
Oh,
trying to kite the Brute, yeah, maybe.
So...
Maybe this can work. Nope, the Brute has other plans, but look at the Atom tanking pretty nicely.
Really fast actually, and that's all of his damage.
Does he get the Slime Mummy to cast?
Yes, he does.
Yes.
But the Atom is...
Wow, that was pretty much perfect, but now he has to focus. Yeah.
He never kills the Brute, right? Oh, Shadow.
And
perfect Fiesta against no sense. Meanwhile,
that's supposed to be some lab specific stuff. Like
juice.
That is really nice. And you're gonna be very sad about that.
Yep. Pretty. That's a penny leak. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, you would classify it as a penny leak, and even some king damage. So first blood. We'll see if Fine can leak Shadow here meaningfully. He's going to go for the Dino, but the thing about the Aqua is it means you should ignore the Dino every time.
Oh,
what else can he build
here?
He's
going to go for a Rogue Wave. Oh, no.
I think a Devilfish probably, right? He can't overcook too hard here, right?
I mean, he can.
I mean, he could.
Just the double buckler, okay. Just going for the tank value.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot more solid on 5, so it's understandable.
He is pulling the Dino left, though. Oh, wait, no.
Yes.
Never mind.
That's the snail. What?
Wait,
I guess the range thing? I mean, but he's going to ignore the Dino, right?
Yeah,
look at the Aqua value.
Yeah.
That is big for him. Now it looks like he's hitting the Dino, so you can't escape Dino jail forever. He is going to kill it, I think. Wow.
Wait, is this just an absolute juicer Fiesta from Shadow?
Wow.
Wait, no, he holds.
It's a full hold.
Okay, he holds on minus 100 value. What a beast.
I mean, that is just insane.
I'm starting to be a bit of a believer in the Whirlybird Aqua
Hold on. Yeah, we might need to go back to the lab, because that doesn't look great. That seems insane. And even after all that, he's not top power score somehow.
Yeah. Well, Fine is up there, plus 20 value.
Yeah, I think it's a good call by the pressure 6 here. Probably the only weakness early game of this build until 9, maybe. I mean, 5 he can leak as well, but...
Yeah.
I think if you're Shadow, you're angling for Mimic on 7.
Wait.
I think you can get it, right? Oh, whoa, this is what?
Pavi dead? I think he's actually Pavi dead.
Yeah, that's a pretty big mistake. Like, his split is too low so that there's extra scorpions on his first atom that tanks the boss.
This was only a single lizard as well, and he's leaking.
Yeah.
Well, not a massive leak to be fair, but 33% against the lizard.
Yeah.
Giving long
Doesn't
waves
help.
to the 10 worker Fiesta player into your teammate's weak wave on 6.
Yeah, it doesn't help Fine, and definitely does not help Poeted with the Mimic plan if Shadow goes for it.
Oh, and
'Cause,
Fine is even 2
yeah.
gold short of that Halo. Oh no!
Yeah. That's a tough one. I mean, what do you even go for now? I mean, you could sell Garg for it, but then you have to be able to split tank perfectly with it.
Yeah, we do get that second brute coming out from
It's
E1
tough.
as
I mean,
well, so Fine is going to be in a bit of trouble here, I think.
Oh, he's in his reroll. He got nothing. Yeah, he's
He
gonna
just
sell for
sells
it.
it. Yeah, I think he had to do that. It hurts, but I think it was the right
Full
play.
build? Nope, he shifted a buzz. I mean, honestly, that's kind of a big deal, because one buzz could be a brute snipe.
Yeah.
But the Halo, I don't think is even gonna tank.
No,
Looking
he
at
needed
this.
to Halo to take some aggro, I think.
Yeah, definitely a tricky spot, because having the Halo tank is pretty hard with another ranged unit already on his
Definitely
floor.
as well. I mean, he still did pretty well, 48%
Yeah.
there against double brute, but you know,
Honestly, there might have been a buzz diff to kill one more. I don't want to say it, but it is looking like that.
certainly was a buzz diff, right? Like if
Whoa,
he has a
no
buzz in a
Mimic.
split or something.
Is Shadow just a genius? I mean, he showed the trees, I guess, but I would still think Mimic is good, but...
Triple brute
Whoa.
there from Shadow Wings, okay.
Disciple, okay. I would rather build the Disciple on these two units if I'm gonna be honest, like...
I
not
mean,
really
there's a perfect... Oh, there's not a perfect spot because he added the half tile, so you couldn't do like here, here, and here.
Yeah, I guess here is probably where it needs to go, but I think he's cooked.
Okay, 200
Unless there's something...
Mythium Send here for Pavided on 7. The
Insta
Treants both
dead.
still have a few stacks, so that's something. The Atom is running it down on the left, though.
And I think the Slime Siren is gonna die, and then the Disciple's gonna die, and then...
And then the Slimes are gonna die, and it's gonna be a decent leak, yeah. The problem is that his Atoms are just turbo dying on every wave. Like, he needs those things for his damage.
Yeah, I mean, the 5 basically made it so he couldn't shift on 6 to get the bunk, and if he gets the bunk here, he's looking way more solid. Fine, at least playing intelligently, expecting the resens to see haloed on 6.
Yep.
Doing really well here for himself, and they were saving at least. That's something to note. Like, they can go... Oh, they're
Saving
going...
into
What?
income from Pavided, but it is a full
Oh, he
send
has
into
Coiler,
Shadow,
I
at
see.
least.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. You can't actually leak Eidetic here if he goes deep Coiler.
Shadow has a
without-
gun hidden up his sleeve, though. But... I think
concealed
that's actually
carry.
a bit too far forward, though.
It does look like it as of right now. Can he adjust the split higher?
He can add a couple of polys or something, but...
Or if he builds something on the left a little closer? I think it's... I mean, it's gonna tank.
Still too high?
I would guess it's dead if this is a dino.
Alright,
A
so
Hermit,
it's
though, it should be fine.
Oh, it actually tanked
It only-
perfectly. Okay, okay, Shadow.
Yeah.
Okay, hands up. I apologize. Shadow is a Noah. I am not.
Gun always tanks 3 there, but if you sent a dino, then the gun doesn't kill it in time.
Oh,
I mean, it still dies, I guess,
Can he
but...
kill them all? He
gets
can.
it?
Okay.
Oh my god, that's actually a big deal. I mean, Eidetic will cover that income king. He didn't even go deep coiler. Oh, he has gun himself. Ah.
I don't think he's playing the famous Gon Serpent build.
The gun serpent aqua build, yeah.
Yeah.
But I would be worried about a resend if I were them. Their units are not looking too good, especially if they want to skip here. But I think sending actually makes a good amount of sense.
They don't.
But they send in.
No, just
and
a
no one
snail coming
sends.
out from Shadow. Everyone else really holding
Oh
on to
my!
their Mythium.
Isn't this just so like? This looks like full grief potential from both of these boards against Ascent.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not a risk I would have taken, because if I were think Pine and Fluided, I definitely would have been fine to just ink him again. Because I can't see a wave where they leak if they keep incoming. They're overvalued, so maybe just feeling a little too safe.
Alright, so I think Pavided will be able to hold against this snail while on 1100 value for 9. There is Venture in the game as well, so do you think there's going to be a Wave 10 Send coming out, or does everyone
Yeah,
want to cringe a little bit longer?
don't think you can skip here with 900 value.
Hmm.
I mean, the people with 1100 value are not down to skip, so
Yeah. Only an income send coming out from Eidetic into Fine, which makes sense, actually, given the Halo and the Daphne. Meanwhile, Shadow is going for a full send into Pavided, but he might be pretty good there. He's basically on value, he's got the Disciples for
no
damage.
tanks. Or bad tanks, I should say. He does have a bonk, but
Yeah.
honestly, I wouldn't have hated a different try rather than 3 dinos. I don't know, just something a little more spammy, but maybe it can work.
I think he's supposed to do King Attack as well, which he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Ooh, Brute.
Okay. Alright, so 300.
See if
I
he
mean,
can
it's a
hold.
massive send.
They both have Big Gun, but Big Gun is not the free hold on 10 like we talked about.
Yeah.
And
So that is a leak for Shadow.
Both
Just very
doesn't-
nearly killed the boss,
oh.
and it's a leak for Eidetic as well.
But yeah, this is probably a leak if you send a pack leader
Yeah, yeah.
instead of 2 of those dinos, for example.
Doesn't have too much value left alive, but they're going to take a decent chunk of damage here on the side of the 5-leaf clover, dropping down to 50% less.
And you can
This-
venture now.
Yeah, but this game has gone from like a really
Oh, venture punish.
good spot from, say, wave 6 for Shadow Wings and Eidetic, and now it looks like they're in a really rough position already.
Yeah, Fine's gonna venture with a D-hardened golem. He is plus value, but yeah, he still does have 2 Daphnes of Casket on his board. It's not a
Okay.
guaranteed.
And Shadow
We
and Eidetic
did-
are going for the full Robo resend, it looks like.
Will they Lizard Army? I think they probably should.
I mean, if they're going for this aggressive play, they kind of have to, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
But Shadow took the
Okay.
venture.
Still kind of like a mixed bag, like try to punish the venture, but also venture yourself. Eidetic cannot venture.
He just takes Villain, okay.
Okay.
Alright, let's
No
see if these
lizard
Robos get
armies.
any damage done then, because Fine and Pavida both stayed on very high value here. D-Hardened Golem, though, that's a bit of an issue.
Pretty nice tanking with this Daphne, actually, so props to him. The Halo's actually going to tank for the Daphnes, which I
Yeah.
don't think is
He's
ideal. I
sniping
mean, it
those
is
Robos,
fortified,
They
but
died real quick.
this is just a Giga Snack.
Easy hold there for Pavida, like it's
And
not even
this-
remotely close.
This is more than good enough, I'd say.
Oh yeah, I mean he just holds, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I guess that
That's
that
also
does,
a snack.
That does count as good enough, yeah.
Yeah, you would say so.
Hmm.
And yeah, kind of a huge advantage because they didn't even send themselves.
No.
So they actually have all the pressure.
That was like a real Hail Mary there from Shadow and Eidetic. They feel like they're behind. They went for a play. Fine and Pavida were ready for it, and now like the game feels basically unlosable. They have double venture.
Yeah, I mean, they're +1 venture on them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing they have is that they sent, so they have better incomes, but that only matters if you can survive the next send, which this is not promising.
They don't have crazy amounts of Mythium because, of course, they stayed super low workers on Fine and Pavida. They're pushing now,
Yeah.
of course, after that 11 send, but
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what do you angle? I mean, probably just has to be 15.
yeah.
Can
I
Shadow
can
be a
certainly
beast
see
there?
15, yeah. And Eidetic and Shadows, both of their boards look really susceptible to a wave 15 send.
No arcane besides Aqua for Shadow. Gonna have the Sovereign, I guess. I mean, he's overvalued here. Pretty much denies a 14 send. Eidetic's value is gonna be in the gutter, per se.
Yeah, I mean, he's already pretty heavily undervalued, right?
Yeah, and Fine is gonna have Infinite Arcane, Steed, Halo combo. Pretty nice. Even the Mudman to tank the Needler. Mean?
I think they just have to like
Yeah,
match with Income
yeah.
King because
Yeah,
Vine's
try to
build is
live.
just Vine's build is the nuts on 15, I think.
Yeah, and it's not like Poeted is particularly bad there.
No.
Like, not great, but not bad. Oh, Shadow. Oh, whoa, that reroll is huge.
Okay, what did he pick up? What did I miss?
He does have the OT now.
Ah, nice.
So it kind of solves his arcane issue, not completely, but he is going to have OT plus value.
He doesn't
Yeah,
really have
just
anything
give,
worth buffing though. Like,
yeah,
there's
give it
one
to the Rogue
Sovereign
Wave, man.
and a Rogue Wave. Yeah, sure.
I mean, guess the bucklers are like kind of anti-15, but yeah, I mean, fair point. It's not the greatest OT value, but value is value, and he does have a lot of it.
He does. He certainly does. Pavito has no workers as well, so E1, although he's super low value, he's not going to get the biggest send.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have the worst units. Not the best, to be fair, but villain
It's a
gun.
shame actually that Shadow can't send that Ocean Templar to his teammate's lane because it would be super
Yeah.
value for the triple canopy of Eidetic.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Okay, here we go. Needler into
Send
Shadow.
So I would love to see Income King here from Shadow and Eidetic actually.
Yeah.
And there it is, yeah.
Okay.
So there's no Copium full send, which I think is the correct decision because the builds are just way too strong on the side of Rem-Pam-Pam. So they're just trying to survive here on 15, and their answer is more canopies. And Starcaller.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you would say that's a low value OT, but it's something.
Shadow going for the Polywog spam as well, which
Yeah,
is actually
that's good.
pretty good against Wave 15 now, but not that great against the Needler, because this Needler might just pop the heck off.
It might. Do a little needling. No ram, though. That's always nice for a gun. Is the gun tanking perfectly or feeding?
It hasn't cast yet on the Needler.
Tanking perfectly. Oh my god.
Oh, is he going to kill the boss?
That's a ram send diff, or any real tank send diff.
Yeah.
Like, the gun is always dead there to a tank send.
But
But like this, it's done about like...
Boss. He does kill the boss, amazing.
Wow.
And so does Shadow, actually. Okay.
That's a send diff in Shadow's Lane for sure. If you skip income to send a ram instead of 4-eye hermits, like, his gun is dead and it's leaking way harder. It doesn't kill the boss. But I guess 4-eye does leaking damage.
Still a lot of damage against the king.
Yeah, you still have to figure out how to win this game, which is probably going to involve a skip somehow, somewhere. Not sure where exactly. Probably have to skip 18?
Yeah.
It's very hard, though.
Fine and Pavita are really strong on 18, right? We've got the Halos, we've got the Starcallers.
Yeah. There's just no wave to abuse.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way where you say, like, Shadow Wings is definitively better than Fine or Poeted. Poeted with the anti-15 tech. Doesn't actually need it because you got Income King, but it is pretty nice. It's not even bad on 18-19 because technically it's spam with all the blobbies.
Yep. And Rem-Pam-Pam both staying decently overvalued, but so Shadow and Eidetic.
Yeah, I mean, Poeted is going to fall off, right? He's been low workers and pretty low income now because of Cartel.
Everyone else, yeah.
Yeah, Eidetic's push, even though he didn't get the Venture, he didn't really get punished for pushing, right? He did very well on 15. And still has a villain bonus, obviously.
Fine's
obviously, he's
pretty hard, though.
Yeah, he's almost leaking. He is leaking here.
Oh, is he on shutdown? He's not. Okay.
Not. Poeted doing his best to keep him there.
Giga holding.
Yeah, that's
he
pretty
makes
nice.
It look easy.
He's very pushed into Shadow, which is the correct choice because Shadow is the overbuilt one. And probably the guy who does have the scariest role for 18.
Yeah.
Goes King Claws on this OT circle, and it's starting to look way more dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. Actual value now for the Ocean Temple.
Yeah. And so it's kind of on Poeted to do a good job on 8. I mean, Fine's going to do good. Like, Halo Steed, no problems, but...
I mean, do they just have to Income King again on 18? And then try for like 21 or something?
Yeah, like you could try that. I mean, Shadow can probably skip 20, and Eidetic has Villain and a bunch of Arcane value, maybe?
Eidetic has now hit critical mass with 4 wirelets here on wave 17.
It might just be over for the enemies, actually.
Yeah, Giga Strong Gate delay.
Okay, here we go. Full sends, actually.
Full sends. I don't know that I love the full send here from 5-Leaf Clover, actually. I understand why they're doing it, but your opponents just look so strong on 18, and maybe you can survive with Income King, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe they can just survive without, maybe not.
Yeah,
mean,
the value
Shadow would
being a
have
little bit
to.
sus.
He would have to Giga Omega Turbo hold,
Yeah.
which I don't know if he can do.
Shadow going for the million Polytech.
I mean, only the Needler to counter it, and it didn't really pop off last time.
This time,
So-
though, trust.
This time, trust. And Fine going for a million consorts.
Mhm.
I mean, that is a pretty good answer.
I mean, it's
to
magic
No
damage,
Witch.
right?
Yeah. King ups. So we're focusing the Ram. We basically have no split, but it's not too bad
Can
when you
this
have King
Needler get
Claws.
any last hits against a million tier 1s?
No. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Wait, is
I mean, it looks
Shadow's
like a
just
full hold.
holding? Or...
Looks like an Omega Giga full. I can't tell how many.
Yeah, they're
Chiefs
all
are
stacked
there,
on
but-
top of each other. I have no
Okay,
idea
so
how
not-
many creeps
yeah.
are alive in Shadow's lane. E1
Think
leaks
a lot,
massive though, that's
right?
93%. Shadow is Giga holding.
But.
Yeah, Pavida.
Also Giga hold.
Oh, he's easily.
Fine.
They were stacked as well.
Oh, there's that. Yeah, these guys just like to hide in each other.
Yeah. Okay, but now Shadow needs to be able to cover, which he might honestly be
Yeah, I
able
think
to
so.
do.
He has kind of his whole team there.
He did target the low HP one as well, which never happens in my
Probably.
lane.
Yeah, that's some enemy laying aggro for sure.
Can he kill it?
Oh,
He
that
cannot, but the
might
King
be
will one-shot that
enough.
first one. Do they live?
Come on, King, show
Come
me
on,
something.
King! They live, they live!
Okay, okay.
Okay.
They live. That's step one. That's
you
step
you
two.
won with the regen spam, that's interesting.
They go 21, so they understand. Okay, I mean, 21 Shadow's build is probably better.
Yeah.
King Claws for stall. Fine has a million buzzes, very bad to Witch.
Fine's pushed a grand total of 0 workers. Like, to be fair, he already had the most
Yeah.
by some margin, so he didn't really need to.
Yeah, I like that. And I think Poeted also is correct in not pushing.
Yeah.
He is going to be probably the holder. Maybe not, honestly. Fine might just have more value in them, but he has way better delay units.
Yeah, yeah.
Those King Claws can go crazy on 21. Which is the same for Shadow, obviously.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Don't
Might
forget,
be
Shadow
crazy.
still has the Whirlybird Rogue Wave tech as well.
yeah.
Doesn't that
I
just
mean, I
one-shot
think,
the Legion King?
yeah, I think so. I mean, Shadow, I would say, is in the best spot, honestly. I mean, yeah, he's highest on the power score, but yeah, I also think his units are just really good.
But surely this time, if Fine sends a Needler, this time the Needler pops off, right? Right?
Yeah, I would have honestly expected him to send a Witch or a Centaur.
Yeah, which it has
but-
to be Witch spam on 21, right? From like
Yeah, 21
from
for
everyone,
sure, yeah.
basically, Witch it looks gigabits.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, it looks like the best possible thing to send.
Yeah.
Okay, Idetta going for some more Canopies. I guess just trying to do his best on 20 in case there were a send to not kill
Yeah.
them, but
But the canopy is
They send
definitely
in.
not it on 21 though. But maybe he just Suri pushes it if there's no send here.
I could see that honestly. I mean, he's not going to hold longer. Fine might hold the longest.
Mhm. I mean, Pavida's,
But either way-
Pavida's low income is really starting to hurt him here. Like, he's bottom
Yeah.
power score, he's falling behind every wave.
And his send is going to be pretty small. I mean, not that important considering Eidetic is probably not holding, but something to keep in mind for sure.
Yeah.
The thing about suing on 20 is like very hard because you don't get gold until you kill the thing.
Now we see centaurs coming out this time from Fine,
Yeah.
so he recognizes the spam as a problem.
Oh,
Oh,
what's
wait.
going on here?
Oh,
got
the double kill there! The gun and the Maka taking each other out at the same time.
I think Witch is probably still better considering this is very likely to be the unit that gets built here, but
Yeah. And the Witch against all of these tier 1s is just super value, right?
yeah, I mean, you generally don't want to send melee sends just get worse and worse.
We're
because
talking
they
about
get-
super value on
Isn't it?
21 as well. Like, you don't get much
Yeah.
more than 5 hardened golems, right?
Yeah.
It's- in terms of delay,
Do-
it's really good.
The Witch is going to be very nice against all of this though.
Yeah, yeah,
And no Shaman though for both Shadow and Eidetic. I don't know if I like that.
yeah. No, I
Shaman
definitely
is
don't.
pretty broken on 21,
Yeah.
especially in a race, but let's see. I mean,
Sends a pretty
Shadow's
big.
lane.
Shadow does receive the biggest send there, with Fine having the most workers. Baby send into Eidetic, but there's just no way he holds, I think.
yeah, these Centaurs didn't really get value in terms of cleaving polys. It was actually one of the creeps that was doing it.
No,
Shadow actually killed
Fine
this boss very slow though.
did. He's going to leak decently on Fine. Pavida actually doing extremely well, but still a leak on him. Shadow? Is he clutching? E1
Shadow
is
leaking.
Oh, Shadow leaks as well. I think it's going to be too fast because Pavida is still holding and Fine still hasn't leaked at all.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, no flame, but I would like to see Shamans in the sense to see if that makes a difference.
Oh, definitely, yeah. In a race situation, it's always Shaman on 21, right?
Yeah. The Legion King is kind of a demon.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it hit for literally 1 billion?
Literally.
Victory.
Wait, was that game 2?
That was game 2, yeah.
Okay, I was like, that was such a long game. I was like, wait, it didn't just end, did it?
No, that was game 2. So it's 2-0 now for Rampampam. They have just taken out Lock-In and Cartel from their mastermind pool. So they have used all of their best masterminds, right? So that's something for Shadow and Eidetic to hold on to.
Probably Megamind time for Fine, or maybe redraw?
Yeah. I mean, they have the leeway to go for whatever kind of wacky picks they want, right? Because they're 2-0 up in a best of 5. They can afford to lose 2 games.
I do think Pawidid's wacky pick is going to be great, though.
Great, yeah, pretty wacky, right?
Yeah.
Man. Look at the graph, right? Like, they're ahead basically all the game, apart from this Wave 6 dip. And then Shadow and Eidetic still made it look super close with that Wave 18 hold and then the race on 21. Sadly, though, it wasn't quite enough, and that does mean a 2-0 lead on the side of Rampampam. So, Offma, if you are Shadow Wings and Eidetic, you're their coach, right? They're in the locker room, they're kind of sweating, and they're really worried about what to do now because they've only got one chance to stay in the cup. What's your advice to these guys?
I mean, I think you just gotta go with the most comfortable thing you can pick. Like, probably, like, just roll out the Fiesta again. And Eidetic, I mean, you just play whatever you feel. Like, you don't want to overthink here. Kind of just want to try your best to get into a game where you feel like you understand everything. Because I feel like the Legion is that it's, like, you're playing your best when you feel like you know exactly what they're going to do, what exactly you can do to counter it. And then if you just make, I mean, it's just like a game of decisions, right? So, like, if you get comfortable and then you can feel like you can see every decision, then it's like, that's the way you kind of start getting back into the games.
Mm-hmm.
When you see everything that's going to happen, then you can win every game, basically. But advice. It's pretty hard.
So basically, they should stream snipe, right? Then they can see everything.
I mean, that is the way to know when literally everything is going to happen. Yeah. That is a foolproof plan.
Yeah. Hey, the players are ready. The casters are ready. Game number 3 is about to begin. Guys, Rampampam are on a 2-0 lead. Shadow and Eidetic need to win the next 3 games in a row if they want to be the champions. But more to the point, they need to win this game right here and now, because otherwise they are out of this Nova Cup, and Rampampam will have broken the 2024 curse and been back-to-back Nova champions. So, Offma, game number 3, let's go.
Yeah, let's see what masterminds we got. Chaos. I like it. I think he probably feels pretty comfortable playing that. Oh my god, Megamind lock-in random, so he gets 1 extra gold.
Beast.
And that's a pretty solid roll. Castle from Shadow. I mean, we saw him Giga pop off with it, so...
Yeah.
What? Chaos?
Okay, Pavida on the Chaos as well.
I didn't know. His bag size is looking very big.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the roll is pretty good for Fine. Like, it's a very good opener with the Flower Harpy, right? Well, he's going for the gun, actually.
Gun, yeah.
Maybe he just, like, drops a gun and then re-rolls, though.
Yeah, I mean, he has gun Pee-wee. That gets you through the first 3-4 waves, and then you have to play the game.
Yeah.
Probably re-roll after
like,
one.
The gun and then re-rolling.
Yeah, I think he probably wants to wait, though, because he doesn't need more tier 1s,
so you can't re-roll the tier 1. Yeah. That makes sense.
Kind of... Oh, whoa, Snail. Gonna catch him.
Beast. Okay.
I don't know if I love playing this with Chaos, because I think there's a good chance you just get completely shafted on 5 and 6, but I think Zerker would have been acceptable. I think it's a more flexible unit.
Meanwhile, Shadow playing safe now with the Windhawk. That is the downside of playing Fiesta last game, is that he cannot afford to just open with a Windhawk in this game and get snailed for fun.
But he is going to be able to send 60, I think, into Fine if he wants. Or he's probably just going to go Brute on 3. I mean, it's Shadow.
Yeah, it's just going to be, snails or even Robo on 3, I think, from Shadow. But this is a really nice snail into Pavided, knocking down the pirate skeletons. You really hate to get snailed with this, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
I think now he has to stay 4 workers, right? Because otherwise he won't be able to afford the big scally on 3.
With Looter, maybe it's possible. That's probably the cheapest thing that holds us another snail.
Yeah. And there is another snail.
Yeah. Fine, staying 4 workers. Whoa. Oh, I thought he was just not built, but...
Pavida did push that 5th worker.
Wait, oh, Shadow is also 6 workers, by the way.
Okay, Beast.
Oh, Snail.
Snail into Eidetic, who's going to be completely fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Fine is on turbo value, holy.
Yeah, I mean, he could have gone Sen 60 here, so fair enough.
Yeah. Right, let's see if the looter was enough to make him hold here on wave 2. It was the only tier 1 he could have built, so nice luck there for the Chaos player.
Yeah.
Wait,
Shadow
Beast.
holding while going 6 workers.
Yeah, Beast. Do we have a leak here, actually?
Wait, for some reason I thought he was 6 workers. I just misread that. I was looking at his income.
Yeah.
I mean, he was pushed with the rat, though. Like, that is definitely...
So Pavida can't afford the Scallywag now, right? He's lost too much gold.
Yeah, he just missing pinged his own lane.
Yeah.
It's good.
Pavida is unsure. Pennywise is unsure.
I mean, he can build a chieftain, I guess. Or, I don't know.
He goes for Fire Archer. Fire Archer's pretty good on this wave.
Yeah, he needs to make sure it
But
doesn't die.
this is really bad on this wave.
Yeah,
really bad on this wave. I think he's going to leak again, like, maybe decently.
He did get
Meanwhile, Fine gets an
luckily,
80
but...
resend here, including a Batter Brute. Holy.
Yeah.
The Lizard chewing through those pirate skeletons, meanwhile.
Oh, this is a very bad early game.
This is a bad leak here for Fine, 48%. And yeah, Pavided is going to leak as well. Not badly, actually. I thought he would do worse than this, to be fair. Oh, there was no snail added. Oh,
Yeah.
Eidetic, come on, man.
I mean,
to be
did
fair,
assume that...
He's
yeah,
just expecting
Pavided
the
would get the
Scallywag,
dude.
right? But there just wasn't enough gold.
Yeah. Shadow holding, though. I mean, this is kind of the early game you want if you're trying to win.
Yeah. When you're playing for match point in the Nova Cup finals, this is exactly
like to
how
see
you want
this.
the first 3 waves to go, I think.
And I did trying to catch Pavided greeting, but that is a big mistake. This guy is Mr. Safe and Sound.
Well, you say that, but he did leak the first 3 waves in
That
a
is
row.
true. That is true.
Just a real shame, actually, that Eidetic didn't add that snail, because it would have turned that leak into an absolute disaster, I think, on 3.
Yeah. Fine. In his reroll, I really hope that's not his final roll. Went 8 workers here. Pretty fast and aggressive, you might say.
Yeah. But Shadow did not go for the income resend, so he's probably going straight 6, honestly, into Fine.
Yep.
And unless Fine is feeling super confident to shift on 5 for that Avenger... Oh, wait, no,
Oh,
Shadow's
whoa.
actually going for 5 send. Okay. I stand corrected.
It can work.
Alright, 140 gold. What are you going to do? Add a flower.
It's a very hard commitment to 5. So, like,
Yeah.
if he got skipped like we thought, there might be trouble.
Well, Shadow's going to be able to send a Robo here as well, so there might still be a little spot of bother here on wave 5, but you're right, Offmo, like, if Shadow had just skipped here, which I was pretty sure he would do, Fine would be giga dead on wave 6.
Yeah. It's not too bad considering Fine can't push, really, without leaking again. But, yeah. I mean, Flower didn't even hit the full wave for a bit, so
Yeah.
not too bad.
The Robo wasted a lot of time on those Peewees, though. It is now on the
Yeah.
flower. This will be a leak from Fine, of course, but nowhere near as bad as it would have been on 6. 61%.
Yeah.
Still not too
Yeah.
bad there for
I
Shadow.
think you take that for sure, because he literally can't push. Okay, he pushes.
Okay. Well, I
Uh,
mean, Shadow's just going to resend, right?
Yeah, I mean, he can't really send much, but I think he should. Maybe a Robo after income because he has a pack rat.
Yeah,
I did
I
it.
could see a Robo after income
Kind of
working
wasn't
as
paying
well.
attention to his build, but he's kind of been cooking.
Yeah,
I mean,
Shadow has a collection of units on his lane, that's for sure. So does E1.
yeah, yeah, they're definitely going for the we're both playing chaos build look.
Yeah. But
Double
72%
brew.
left on the king for Ram Pam Pam, so that's
Yeah,
game going pretty well so far for 5-leaf Clover. They do need to hold this send here though. There's a double brute coming out.
the beast.
There is the
Although,
beast,
wait,
but it
is the
might
beast just gonna
get run
get completely
over.
one shot? Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of want to sell this and maybe up the split a
you
little
have
bit.
to, right? You have to up the split here.
Oh, or we, nah, you have to build it, but like, we do need to make sure he doesn't just speed, right?
Yeah. Shadow's
Shadow
going
going
for
for full
post-income
snails.
snail sends here into fine.
And the gun is dead. Yeah.
Oh wait, the gun is dead. Okay, that's going to be an incident there, I think. The
Yeah.
Butcher buffing a solo flower isn't quite going to cut it, but
And-
this is what I'm interested in
Whoops.
because the Oathbreaker did run it down, and it's going to be a
Yeah.
mega leak here for Eidetic.
Oh, he doesn't even kill the bird.
109%.
Ay, ay, ay.
Ay, ay. Shadow is going to hold. He's going to be able to cover some of it in the mid, but Pavida holds
Yeah.
as well.
Don't know if he was ready for the second wave fully.
No,
Yeah.
he's not quite ready for round 2. He's going to actually clean up
I mean,
quite
cleaned
a
up a
decent
lot.
bit of
Yeah.
it.
He's on good value, so fair enough.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd say their spot is still fine. I mean, obviously, Eidetic's game has gotten a bit worse,
Yeah.
but what can you do?
Yeah, he really just needed to sell that Peewee and raise the split,
Yeah.
right? He would have been so much better off, I think.
Yeah, like 100% if he had that 15 gold, he would build it. So,
For
like,
sure.
yeah, so
Uh,
little sloppy.
What is he doing, man? Isn't it just way too high?
Yeah, I think so, but maybe he's traumatized from last wave.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going for saves. I mean, it's definitely right. They have to try and open them up somehow in order to get back in this game.
I think I know what the tech is, by the way. I think all 4 of these players are somehow like colluding with each other to throw off Drakbot guess the elo, right?
Ah,
There just ain't
I
no
see,
way
yeah.
that this is a collection of 3k elo builds right here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if I saw this one, yeah, I might, I guess, a little lower.
Yeah. I think the Butcher solo buffing a Honeyflower is a bit of a giveaway for me.
Yeah, that one doesn't look quite right.
Alright, we got some big sends though coming out on wave 8,
Yeah.
and the Giga Breaker, which is so good on 6 and 7, is just not quite as good on wave 8. So we might find Eidetic in a spot of bother, but he is on value. And Shadow, meanwhile, with the double Daphne and the Sand Badger and some healing as well, he might just do fine.
Yeah, I think Brute is probably the right send if you're trying to leak it in terms of sending a tanks and something that kills the Badger, but it might still be old.
Eidetic's
lot of value.
plus 10, Shadow Wings is only minus 20, the Brutes are going to get one shot. There they go, the Pilgrim even a little bit of magic
Yeah.
damage. I think Shadow's just doing fine. Eidetic, I mean, his Giga Breaker is living forever. Does go down now. Income send
Now
into
the Aqua
Pavida.
the Disciple should clean up a lot of this.
Yeah. Fine leaks again, 42%, not too
Shadow
terrible.
holds.
But E1 holds and Shadow holds, so that's really great news there for 5-leaf Clover fans. Pavida almost leaking to the income send as well.
Yeah, I think if that's not a Drake and maybe just like, I don't know, some DTs or something,
Yeah.
could have been a leak, I think.
Could have been a bit of a
Or
leak.
even like real tryhard send.
But like this, he's going to be able to cover at least a couple of creeps, so very minimal king damage on 8 here for Ram Pam Pam. But it is still death by 1,000 cuts, you know, they're dropping down to 70%
Here
now.
comes a resend.
Maybe even the magic 69. Nice. Full resend coming out from Fine.
Poo-poo coming
into
out.
Eidetic. I don't think it's going to work this time, though. I think the Giga
Yeah.
Breaker is phenomenal on Wave 9, so I think it just 1v9s the wave.
They also have insane amounts of value. Oh, Shadow not going for Violet here. I thought he would have sold for
Can
it.
I point
but-
something else out, by the way? Offmer,
Yeah,
we have
he's doing
Shadow
it again.
Wings on fire, Wave 9 playing Castle. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he is kind of the low income master. He played 2 income, 0 income, 0 income. And it's been looking pretty good in all 3 of those games, so.
Alright, Giga Breaker, show us what you've got. Let's click this bad boy. He's
Brute
about
is
to
dead.
pop off. There he goes.
And-
Giga Breaker is doing its thing. Dancing the dance, clapping the wave.
Yeah, it was a bit optimistic, I think, to go for
Yeah,
this
that was a
resend.
very weird full send. Like, Eidetic added a Modman here, but I feel like he basically
Yeah, he might have
mods
just held without
building.
it. And now we skip 10 because of Venture, and Wave 11 does look pretty tricky. We can't even build Big Gun here. I mean, this lock-in random has not been it.
Wait a minute. Offma, this is a Shadow Wings game. There's just no way he doesn't send 12 into double
yeah.
Gatling Gun Death Cap. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, it does look a bit better when you see this, but yeah. I mean, maybe. I could see 12. I mean, like, we have Big Halo. Yeah, let's go 12. Let's see it.
And
You gotta do the Shadow Special.
Income King here just really relieving any remnants of pressure on the side of 5e
Yeah.
Clover, so they can do whatever they want. If they want to go for that 12 send, they can. If they want to go 11, then they can do that as well.
As they prefer. Witch? How about Witch?
No aggressive
Not
spells
that
though.
much.
That's a little bit sad.
That's a bonus for them, yeah. I mean, Titan is a nice defensive spell as well. Probably have to go Titan on the gun if you want the best defensive spell and hope it Giga Tanks.
Yeah. Pavided has the option for Alpha Male with Titan with the 20% damage reduction, but it looks like he wants to place Shadow Dancer instead. He's playing Chaos, that's why. I feel like the correct play is just Titan and Alpha Male here.
I don't even think Dancer is that good in this build right now.
No.
With a Halo already on the board, I'd much rather just have tanks. Whoa!
This is like typical Chaos player, you know, going for the Wave 20 build instead of the Wave 11 build that he needs right now with the value on an Alpha Male.
And we go Taxed Allowance. That is... Yeah, I don't think that's it. I mean, his gun is tanking nicely, but...
He may have just run out of time, honestly. Like, trust me, it happens.
Yeah, that's true.
This looks like a pretty chunky leak there for Fine, despite being on 1700 value.
Yeah, I mean, with Titan, he might have just clapped, like 30% leak or something.
Yeah.
But speaking of clapping...
Oh, he got the Witch!
Got the Witch,
wow.
Wow.
He got the Witch, okay. Disaster reverted. That's 42.
They did okay, but there is the small problem being down 2 ventures.
Yeah. Down 2 ventures, down workers, down income. Things are not looking too happy for the side of Fine from Pavida.
Yeah.
And down by 50% King as well, so things are looking rough.
Indeed.
Shadowwing's proving his tagline to be a lie, it seems. Worst LTD2 player?
Yeah.
Well, I beg to differ right now, my friend.
Yeah, he's popping. I'm not convinced that APS is the right tilt, but I mean, he smells something coming.
I mean, he's Chaos, right? It's just Millennium on 13 or 14, Phoenix on 15, Lord of Death, something like that.
Yeah, it's coming.
I think the APS is Giga value because it's super cheap as well, right? And 10% attack
Yeah,
speed is good for a lot of units.
Okay, nothing yet, but I mean, White Man's a good aura as well. You do like to collect him?
Is it not just 15 now from everyone?
Yeah, I think so. Go for a random egg. Try and bait them 14 maybe. Nope, not with those values.
Yeah, double 50 gold shot downs for Shadow and Eidetic. Paviled and Fine, if they didn't already know that they were Venture, they certainly know now.
Yep. And our Titan is still on our... You know, now that I think about it, I think with Titan Alpha Male, he might have just held 11.
Oh yeah,
fully.
for sure
Yeah.
he would.
Because now we have Titan on a Warwick that hasn't become a Lioness yet.
No, and isn't really threatening to become a Lioness anytime soon either, because when do you want to build it, on 14 or 15?
Yeah, not ideal for the Lioness. Yeah, I mean, what can you do? You're undervalue. If you skip and they send, you're probably dead. If you send and they skip, you're probably dead.
Yeah. I don't think Shadow and Eidetic will send here on 14, but okay, they prove me wrong instantly the second I say it. I think this is actually maybe the one where they can lose.
I mean, they can't lose by sending here, but they can make the game go on longer.
Yeah. Well, the way they lose is if they send here and Fine and Pavidad save, or Income King, or something.
Yeah,
and
and
they just
ult.
do way too
Yeah.
well against the send.
Yep. There are... Whoa. Is that where the Dark Mage is supposed to be?
I don't think that's where the Dark Mage lives, but I could be wrong.
Whoa, I don't think I've ever seen this board before on 14, I can't lie.
Yeah, interesting.
Desperate times.
Hmm.
No Ram, at least.
Yeah, no Ram is actually like a blessing into Fine, because the gun can just wail away on those wave creep.
Yeah. Obviously his tank value is gonna fall over
Sniping
because...
the Brute as well.
Got the Mole as well. You know, the Sovereigns aren't really split taking too well.
No, but he's super strong on this wave. He's going to do pretty well, I think. One of the Sovereign even pops off. Not for long, of course, but a
Yeah.
couple of slaps. Does he just hold?
Maybe just the 4 eyes.
Pavida does not. That's a 91% leak for him. Hey, wait, Identic and Shadow
What?
both leaked? That's crazy, bro.
They're
both
plus
overvalued.
225 and
Yeah.
plus 130.
Okay.
I mean, they did kind of... I mean, Eidetic definitely fell into the Chaos disease where he just doesn't have a board.
Yeah, he just has a collection of random units on his board, none of them upgraded.
Yeah, and Shadow has full natural magic damage, I guess, so...
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to make the game more interesting.
They certainly are.
It's
They gave
still
away
hard to
shutdowns.
lose.
They gave away a lot of Burt there on 14 as well.
Yeah. I mean, you have to play for Fine's best wave, which is probably 16, so probably just time to push some workers and flip the game.
Yeah. Well, Shadow and Eidetic have gone for the 0 push angle instead. What are you doing, Eidetic?
What is bro
Okay,
cooking?
He changes his mind, thankfully.
He's actually going for White Mane Chieftain buffed Oathbreaker.
Giga Breaker.
Yeah.
Alright,
We might need to take this man out of the kitchen.
I respect it. Mad hustle.
I mean, this is the game to do it, I guess.
He will need to remind himself to sell the Polywog.
I think if you're fine, it's time to start pushing as well.
Yeah.
And I think Pawita should full commit as well.
Pavidad is a Giga Sui pushing, yeah. Well, one of them needs to be able to hold no send on 16 though, so Fine can't push too much.
Yeah, I think he kind of has to though, and just like, I mean, if they said isn't the game over anyways? Like,
Well,
just have to
Eidetic
hope.
and Shadow, and they can see that Pavidad is 600 under
But,
here. They
yeah.
didn't build, and they
But
do not send.
They're almost always gonna skip if they're trying to play like optimally because they overbuilt, so like they're probably not gonna die. And if they do send and get like Pawita with capping, then it's pretty bad. But
Well, they still need
yeah.
to do the not dying part. That's quite important here.
I think if Fine pushed, like they actually can win here. But yeah, I mean these builds are very bad, like 116.
Yeah.
I mean they have legit 4.2k value of both.
Yeah,
but
But they have no king spell at all. Okay, they do a little bit now, but only 4. Oh, okay,
8.
Shadow does 4 as well. They have
10.
magic king spell. Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of fortified armor on this board.
Yeah.
And Shadow obviously very weak to these imps.
Shadow's
Shadow's
getting
leaking
run
like
over.
everything.
Shadow's giga leaking.
Oh yeah, I mean this is what I mean. Like, oh wait, they're dead. Pretty sure they're dead.
Oh, giga dead. Yes. Okay.
So
The one way that they can lose, I guess they found it. Holy moly.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay. Wow.
that's not good.
Wow, this is just flabbergasting. I thought for sure Eidetic and Shadow had this game in the bag, but no. Ram Pam Pam with the very, very quick and decisive 3-0 against Five Leaf Clover, securing their place as back-to-back Nova Cup winners, breaking the 24 curse. Fine and
Crazy.
Pavilion, very well played, and commiserations there to Shadow and Eidetic. Let's take a look at this graph off. My God, that is heartbreaking for the
God,
Five Leaf
yeah.
Clover fans. They were 85% favoured on wave 10. They were 77% favoured on wave 14. They were 69% favoured on 16. And yet, Offma, and yet, Gigadead.
I think Eidetic kind of just like forgot that he needs to like have a carry in his role. Like if he went for this Sovereign even on 13 instead of these Pilgrims, like it's probably fine on 14.
Yeah.
Oof. I mean, he was gambling that he hits like the juice, but you can't always hit the juice.
That's a rough one for Eidetic and Shadow because they were
Yeah.
turbo ahead in this game. I think. Like I didn't like the wave
Yeah.
14 send from them at all, but given
But
that they
turns out they
leaked,
needed it.
yeah, given that they leaked with the send, obviously they did need it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't be leaking overvalue, and that's
Yeah.
what like you gotta have a solid plan for the
They're
waves. I
both
mean,
overvalue, right? Yeah, they're 130 on Eidetic, 225 overvalue on Shadow.
just no
Holy.
carries really. I mean, they like kind
Yeah,
of thought it's always 15, but then like it's not.
yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay, well that does mean that we have Fine and Povided as our June Nova Cup champions. So let's see if we can
Back
get
to
them in
back.
for a very quick interview. And let's see if we can get them to join us.
Well, let's see.
Oh man, that was an absolute roller coaster there. I really feel for Shadow and Eidetic
Yeah.
actually because that was their game to lose. And
That's
well,
a type of loss that just like it's just straight depression after that. Like it's
yeah,
just you're just
yeah.
like man, like
How?
how?
I mean, I'm casting it, and I'm sat here going, how?
Yeah. Or do we just go visit them? Because I think they're sitting. Oh no, you can't put more than 2 people in there. I see.
Yeah. The game rooms, yeah, they're limited to 2 people. But I think they both have access to this room now, so we'll see.
Okay.
They might be feeling a little bit shy. Fine has responded to say maybe. I'd like to see an answer one way or the other. I wonder if Fake One is around. Maybe we could get some Polish interview.
Ooh. That might make it more comfortable for them.
Fine is saying he doesn't know. Just say because I'm padding right now.
I'm watching the disaster again on the second monitor.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
But also, like, if Shadow and Eidetic just matched on 16, they almost certainly win, right?
Yeah, they should.
They have a bit more gold to hold with. Povided obviously is leaking everything. Fine. He's pretty strong on 16, but I don't know if he's strong enough.
I mean, they would also have way more value.
Yeah. Okay, Fine is saying they just want to chill. They've gotten their win. They want to celebrate, and I can't blame them. So
they didn't drop a game.
They didn't drop a game, man. Holy! They 2-0'd the semi-final. They 3-0'd the grand final. Did they lose any games yesterday? Did you watch them?
Nope, I don't think so.
So they've just absolutely slaughtered the June Nova Cup. Fine and Povided.
Yeah.
Man, these guys have been playing really well on the ladder lately. Really, really well.
Yeah.
Having said that, fair play to Shadow and Eidetic. They definitely gave them a run for their money here in the grand finals. Game number 3, like that's just heartbreaking for Five Leaf Clovers. That really, really is. But
I mean, all of those games were fairly difficult, I would say. Like they weren't like you can't just walk to victory. Well, clearly in the last one, but I think the first 2 games were also very close.
Oh, they were. Like, there was a Wave 21 race that came down to the wire. What was it, like a 5-second difference or something?
21 race, 16 race. Like, you can't be too sad about that finals. I mean, it could have very easily been a 3-0 the other way.
Oh, totally, right? Or at the very least, like, I mean, I for one, wanted to see more than 3 games. It's the grand final. We want to see the best of 5. It easily could have gone the distance there with all 3 games being super close. But we have to hand it to Fine and Povided because they've just been playing phenomenally well lately, both on the ladder and in the tournament. They really are a force to be reckoned with right now, it feels like.
For sure.
So mad props to them. And you know what? They were super behind here in game number 3. They played to their outs. They giga pushed into wave 16. And I don't know, maybe it was because Fine looked so strong there. Shadow and Eidetic thought they could afford to skip, but they could not, my man.
They just trusted their value, but the value wasn't enough. I mean, I can understand skipping there. Like, you just think that there's a chance Pawita is capping, and if you send and they hold, then maybe you lose.
Yep.
But
I'm
it's
still
tough, man.
surprised how much they leaked though. Like they were on high
Yeah.
value. Both of them were north of 4K value, right? And sure, the sends were big, but they completely got run over. Like 100% leaks on both.
4.2k value is a lot on 16.
It is a
Yeah.
lot, but not enough apparently. Just not enough of
Yeah.
them. Well, hey, no winners interview this time, so I think we have to congratulate Fine and Pavide on their very
Yeah.
well-deserved win, and hope they just get to enjoy the moment and chill out and relax.
For sure.
And just some shout-outs from me then, I guess. Massive shout-out to all of the players for making the Nova Cup a spectacle, as always. Shout out to all of the tournament organisers behind the scene for keeping things running smoothly. Schnerd is doing a lot of that legwork behind the scenes. Slinky Dinky as well for coding the Discord bot that runs everything. So really props to those guys. Shout out, of course, to Auto Attack Games for making the game, for sponsoring the tournament. And I really hope for good things in future for them, especially now with a partnership with Ninja Kiwi. That's pretty exciting for future. And of course, a shout out to my fantastic co-casters, Fake One yesterday and Offma today. It's been a real pleasure. Offma, any words from yourself, my man?
No, I'm just very happy to cast again. Got to see some fun games for sure this weekend. So looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, Twitch chat, we hope you've enjoyed the show, and that is, it's been a fast one today, but that is everything that we have. And just leave it on the note, massive congratulations to Fine and Pavide, very well deserved June Nova Cup winners. Guys, we will see you back in July for